was thinking of you.
Right,
Nice.
radio place.
We're on.
Good evening. Welcome to the June 3rd Board of Education open session. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. 2.01, approval of agenda.
We need to make a motion to open. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, we do. Can I make a motion to open session, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the May 6, 2026 agenda as presented.
Second.
All is in favor?
Aye.
Right, I make a motion to approve the minutes for May 6, 2026 closed session and the minutes for May 6, 2026 open session.
Second.
All is in favor?
Aye.
All right, next up we have our School Resource Officer Recognition Awards.
I think let them talk up first, maybe.
Pick it up.
I don't know if we were, but,
I think we're gonna do a picture, I think.
okay.
Need help, Sid?
I don't have board docs. It's so weird.
Right?
You don't have it?
No.
I had to start using Edge. How do you?
Under your bookmark?
I had to start using Edge because
Good evening,
Let's put the speed.
so I'm not sure the microphone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sid Fender, Chief Operating Officer, and tonight we want to recognize the Queen Anne's County Sheriff's Office, specifically the Queen Anne's County Sheriff Resource Officers. They put a lot of time into our schools. The one thing that you go through and you look at, it's not just about keeping us safe and protected, it's about building relationships with the kids and the students, and they truly become part of our family. I've seen them where they're playing on the faculty versus the students in basketball games. I've seen them participating in field day, and we've even had a couple SROs that decided that they wanted to help coach some of our high school teams. And we would just like to take a few minutes to thank them. They all could not be here tonight because of shift work, but we wanted to thank them for keeping us safe every day and along with building relationships with us. And we truly appreciate everything you do. When I call your name, if you can come up here, we have a little goodie bag with some things in there to keep you energized during the day, and a nice little certificate for you. So if I could have, is DFC Cooper here? No. DFC Joe Patakowski. DFC Walter Bear. DFC Josh Mickle. DFC Chuck Patrick. Pride of Churchill Elementary School. And from Graysonville Elementary School, we have DFC Stephen Upa.
Them first, and then we'll call. She's trying to get us to come up for the photo.
Yeah, board members up, and I want to show one other thing too. So I just want to thank our school resource officers for everything they do to keep our kids safe. Every day you can see the impact they're making and just how much the kids and the staff all appreciate them being there. It's awesome. I know when you see the guys out and around town, they're always, there's my SRO, they want to say hi. It's just great that they become a part of our school community and help keep us safe. And I want to thank them too for giving us this awesome artwork that we can display here. just the representing the partnership between Queen Anne County Public Schools and our sheriff's office. So thank you for everything you do.
Not get in, so I'm gonna keep working on it, but if you see me stalking you, it's not because
Let me know. I'll just move my computer over.
we shut it down and then
What?
sign back out. Want me to make motions? Do you want to make motions?
Oh, where's my list?
I don't care. I just know it's easy.
I don't know.
Made my list.
What do you think? Is it easier if I do it?
It's
to the
easier, but
calendar.
like if I hear you go that
That's how I
way,
got mine.
Okay.
it does not matter.
Look.
You can freestyle.
Okay. Everybody good? All right. Next up, we have board involvement. Anybody like to go first?
Sure. I made a list. Because I didn't want to forget. It has been a busy month. Glad we are getting to the end of things. I got to participate at our senior signing day at Queen Anne's County High School. And I am very encouraged to see that we had 5 ladies that joined the Navy, and we had 5 gentlemen that joined the Marines. We had others. ROTC, I think she had a full scholarship to the Army, but it was a really good day. I participated in the board leadership training meeting. What fun that was. Sudlersville Middle School Commissioners Public Budget Meeting. Our graduations, congratulations to the class of 2026. And I missed, but I really wanted to go to our firefighters graduation. I heard that was amazing. And Miss Carrie can tell you all about it when we get to her.
Oh, I guess with that lead in, thanks to Shannon, I was able to take her place at the firefighter and EMS class graduation. Always very impressive to see them. I also went to Queen Anne's to see the engineering capstone presentations, and they were amazing. They were all amazing, but I especially liked the guitars. And our student board member, Thomas, actually designed a guitar with like a built-in stand, and very impressive. And then another student created it was like a silverware catcher because he worked in a restaurant, but like all of Dock House came out to support him because that's where he works. So
That's
it's
cool.
really neat to see. So everybody go eat at Dock House restaurant, I guess. And then I also went to the Innovation Night at Kent Island High School, and just as impressive, all the projects there. I love how so many of them gravitate towards crabbing and fishing. You can tell we're on the shore, but the biomed ones were like beyond my understanding, but very impressive. I went to the commissioners' budget meetings, both of them, and asked them for some more money. So we will see. And I also went to the League of Women Voters candidate forum with you, Shannon, to
See the new
see
candidates.
who's applying for the
At-large.
at-large position. Okay. I can go. 2 big things, obviously Queen Anne's and Kent Island's graduations, was able to attend both, and they were amazing. I've been talking so much about how it was so nice to see, especially Queen Anne's, all the people that had enlisted, all the people that are ready to go into the workforce, the CTE program. Like it was amazing just to see how much
the kids, and especially with things I know that we talk about with the blueprint and things that have changed in the last couple of years, especially since my older two have graduated. And it's amazing to see all of the kids that are utilizing these services that we have and that are able to graduate and go right into something. It's awe-inspiring. So they were wonderful services. Excuse me. Beautiful day, a little windy, at least to Kent Island, lost a couple hats, but it's good. I also was able to attend the Commissioner Liaison meeting to go over some things, obviously to talk about the budget as well. But yeah, all in all, it's December is kind of over. We're kind of wrapping up June and the end of the school year. But yeah, I was able to get to some things and it was nice.
So the state superintendent visit.
Oh, yeah, I did the state superintendent visit. Look at me. Yeah, we went to Mattapique, Dr. Kibler and I, and Carrie, we went with Dr. Carrie Wright, attended Mattapique Elementary, and we were able to go on a walking tour with her, and that was very cool. Saw the Mattapique concert play Star Wars with the band.
I just want to give a shout out and say congratulations to all the graduates and retirees and everyone else. Hang in there. There's 2 more weeks of school.
Yeah. Woo, 2 more weeks.
10 days.
Oh, 10 days, sorry.
That's 2 weeks.
10 school days.
10 school days.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll just reiterate on congrats to the class of 2026 on graduation. Again, one of my favorite parts was seeing everybody in the CTE program and everybody standing up. There was an extensive amount of students that stood up whenever they called their curriculum out. I would love to see that grow. I hope we can use that as a public endorsement on how much our CTE program is, how many kids or students are on a wait list, and we can expand this program. I would love to see that. I know it takes funding, so hint, hint. And hopefully we can start working with the Chesapeake College moving forward, just to give these students a leg up going forward. I think that's something we should really advocate for. College is fantastic, fully support it, but not everybody wants to go to school, and the trade schools can definitely push them right in the workforce. Attended the commissioners meeting, the liaison meeting. Again, funding was the hot topic there, so requesting more funding. Was at both the graduations, did the leadership program, again, yeah, that was fantastic. Whole fun 3 hours staring at a computer.
Was it only 3?
Might have been 4.
Okay. It seemed long.
Congrats to Kent Island lacrosse and baseball, made the state championships. Didn't quite get it done, but that's a heck of a season. So congrats to them. If I missed any other athletic programs, please let me know. We can give a shout out to them as well. So, that's it.
All right, thanks. Dr. Kibler.
Thank you. Definitely a busy month. So I think I've told you before, we get together with superintendents roughly once a month, and I've shared with my colleagues around the state in my first year. The end of the school year is not for the faint of heart being a superintendent with the schedule, but it's all good things. It's really exciting. Did a lot of athletic events and things, but I do want to focus a little bit on academics. So I was able to attend a Carson Scholars Lunch sponsored by Dr. Ben Carson. We had 3 students in Queen Anne's County Public Schools receive a Carson Scholars Scholarship. Say that 5 times fast. And that was incredible to get together and just celebrate those students. I was also able to go to the American Legion and celebrate essay contest winners, celebrating the American 250th, and for celebrating middle and elementary school students around the district. It was just really cool to see the families come out. We appreciate the support of the American Legion, the auxiliaries there, putting that on for our students. And lastly, I'll just reiterate graduation. Graduation will always be my favorite event of the year, just because it is the culmination of the career of all of our students in Queen Anne's County Public Schools. It's just such a great achievement and milestone for students. You all have hit some of the big highlights of that event, but it's just great to see the students and learn whatever the path is. I just want them to be happy and prepared for whatever that next step is, be it career, military service, or college, to know that our students between both high schools received over $6 million in college scholarships just shows all the positives going on here, and it's just great to see. And I thank you all for being at those events as well. It's unique how many people show up to support our students, and it's just great to see, and I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kibler. All right, next up, we have citizen participation, public comment.
We ask all speakers to keep in mind the following guidelines. Speakers should sign the roster, including their telephone number and address. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes in length. Comments longer than 3 minutes should be submitted in writing. Statements to the board should relate to the matter of general policy over which the board has authority. Comments about the actions or statements of individuals, staff members, are not appropriate for public comments and should be referred to the superintendent of schools or board president. If you have specific questions, the board will make sure an appropriate staff member responds to your question. The board respects your desire and right to convey your message freely, but asks, as a courtesy to this board and our citizens, that you show respect for all. First is Valerie Maglio.
In the front.
Okay. So good evening. I'm Valerie Maglio. I live in Harborview in Chester. Good evening, President QACPS, Superintendent Keebler. Thank you for your time and dedication you give our students, teachers, and community. I'm here tonight to speak in support of the school's choice for families of Queen Anne's County. Our son has special needs, and I'm concerned that as he gets older, he's not receiving the individualized support he needs to be successful. This is not the fault of his teachers. They are wonderful, caring professionals who genuinely love and support our son. The challenge is that they are often working in classrooms that are understaffed and serving too many students with significant needs. An environment with smaller class sizes, our son would have greater opportunity to thrive and be included with his typically developing peers in the least restrictive environment. Because the proposed charter school would be in a public school, I am confident that it would work with his IEP, provide the services and accommodations he needs. Additionally, if approved, the charter school would be held accountable for meeting state and local performance standards. As the charter authorizer, this board would be responsible for monitoring compliance, student outcomes, and ensuring that students receive appropriate educational services. Because the public charter school would be part of Queen Anne's County Public Schools, its teachers would be required to meet the same educational and certification standards as teachers in other public schools. I believe that the focus on a classical education, combined with our son's IEP goals and objectives, would benefit him. A classical education focuses on the trivium model, which simply means the curriculum matches teaching methods to a child's natural development stages, gathering facts, analyzing why, and expressing ideas. By focusing on core fundamental knowledge and logistical thought processes, classical education prepares students for higher education and diverse professional careers. Every child learns differently, and every family should have access to educational options that best meet their child's individual needs. For our family, having another public school choice within Queen Anne's County could provide an opportunity for our son to reach his full potential. Thank you for your time and consideration this evening.
Thank you.
Next up is Mr. Richard McNeil.
Good evening. Richard McNeil, I represent the retired school personnel, and I want to emphasize that it's not just for teachers, it's for everybody. Starting right off, I'd like to thank the board and Renee Wolf, especially. She worked exceptionally well to coordinate with me so that we were able to give a well wishes to the retirees and invite them into our group. We also want to recognize tonight and announce we give 2 scholarships to 2 students from Queen Anne's. It was Avery Mortimer, who's majoring in music education, and from Kent Island is Jamira Justice, who is planning on majoring in elementary education. So They got their awards at the senior nights, and at our luncheon next Wednesday, we're going to honor them and their families and give them an opportunity for 3 minutes of conversation. So, but thanks to Renee, she was just wonderful on all that. Want to say thanks for the graduations also. As a former principal, I know how important that is, and give a shout out to all the preparations that go on before that day. You know, making sure diplomas are signed and correct and the right name and the right spelling, and just the organization is just phenomenal on that. Also, a shout out to the CTE programs. It's great to see that programs, or all the programs and the numbers. The pre-nursing group, you know, that just got pins, all the masonry groups that were recognized, cosmetology, you name it, all of them. It's just wonderful to see that. Listened to a podcast last week that was very interesting. Dr. Schregengasse, it might be interesting. It was called Redefining Education, to meet the tools rather than the tools defining education. And it was a study that was done from 2010 till last year, and they found out that students who were spending more than 5 hours on a computer in the school, through the NAEP scores, they plateaued and actually declined. And some of the schools who had taken that information and switched it the other way, the scores went right back up again. So I'm sure you all are aware of that, but if not, it might be worth looking into in that aspect. Our group will meet again next Wednesday. If you're in the area, opportunity, we have a picnic lunch, fried chicken and potato salad and all the good stuff. Feel free to join us on that part. And if I don't see you for the summer, have a nice summer. In the budget meetings, the one I went to was well informed, so good luck with all that. And thank you, Mr. Pender.
Next is Angela Short.
Good evening. I'm Angela Short. I live in Millington, and I am one of the leads at one of the schools. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight to all of you and everybody who is watching. I'm here as a parent, but also as an employee of Queen Anne's County's Public Schools. I'm speaking on behalf of most of our cafeteria staff, and I have a couple of concerns that need to be brought to your attention. The food. Prepackaged food that comes in a bag, we heat, we put it on the line. It is awful, flavorless, high in sodium, full of dyes, fake meat, not appealing to the eyes. We are asked to hype up our menus and get the kids excited for lunch. How can we do that if we're embarrassed to serve it? My school alone has gone from 250 to 280 lunches a day to 170, switching to this newfound cheap, unhealthy meal. My own children eat elsewhere because it's not appetizing. What's good for some in the schools is not for others. The health department stated that we have to cut all fruits and vegetables. Oranges were removed from my classroom, or from my kids' cafeteria, because I was following the law. And I no longer can have them for my students. That makes a really good statement. The state of Maryland has the same state and federal guidelines across the board. The other counties have amazing looking trays, and Queen Anne's looks like something out of an Oliver Twist orphanage. Please look into this. Our head coordinator, Julie, has created a hostile work environment. She has bullied an operation.
Personnel matters.
I have already brought it. Nobody will
This is for
listen.
general board policy related, not for individual personnel
Oh, that's fine.
disputes. This can be directed to the superintendent.
Okay, well, that has been directed, and we have been ignored. We have also sent numerous emails to the board and has been ignored. We are simply asking that somebody step in, check, and figure out what the problem is, because a lot of employees will not be returning for food service if we have to continue under these hostile environments. This is absolutely absurd. We should not have to put up with it. I'm sorry. The custodians and the kitchen staff are the heart and soul of the school. If you don't have food and you don't have a clean school, you don't have kids. We don't have jobs. The only thing I'm asking, we are asking, is for someone to please look into it and do something. Something. That's it.
It's Cassandra Krug. Did I say that right? Krug?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm really nervous.
It's okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
Take your time.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Can I grab my mom real quick? I'm so sorry.
You want somebody to read it?
You want to have your mom come up and sit with you? You can, absolutely.
Yeah. My mom.
Absolutely.
Do you have any tissues? It's okay.
Hello, my name is Cassandra Krug. I'm a student at Kent Island High School, and I am here as part of my capstone project for my AP government class. We were tasked with finding a issue or something that we believe could be changed for better. I am here to talk about high school start times. The high schools in our county start at around 7:45 a.m. and most students are either very tired in the morning or come in late because they are so tired. Some students drive to school, some don't, some take the bus, but it's not always the best because they are tired and it's not good. Studies have shown that students and teens need anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of sleep with homework, after school activities, and sports and work and that type of stuff. We don't get home until 4 or so 6 p.m. We have to then eat, sometimes do chores and stuff, and then do our homework and everything, and that takes quite a bit of time. I'm so sorry.
You're doing good. Keep going.
I know, but I just feel really bad. So with students doing about the homework, which can be from an average to an hour and a half to 3.5 hours. Some students take AP classes, which can give a lot more homework than the normal regular classes. It takes a lot of time up. I did a poll in my school and in my grade level. I got about 90 answers. What I asked my classmates were around what time they go to bed and around what time they wake up. Most said 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., which is 8 hours of sleep, which is the recommended amount, but is still not enough for a lot of students because a lot of students are still tired in the morning. With testing and everything, it gets a lot worse because we are studying and doing homework, and some of us really worry about what our tests will be. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry, you have all the time you want.
3 minutes.
Supposed to do 3 minutes. I also asked if they wished school started like an hour later. 78% of the 90 answers said yes. Anne Arundel and Howard County switched their high schools to a later start time, I believe after 8 a.m. And if you look at the Maryland report cards for their counties, their high school reports have gone up since they switched it. They switched over, Anne Arundel switched over in 2022, Howard in 2023. And they have gone up since. So, thank you so much. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. Thank you very much.
Is there anybody else that has a comment? Thank you.
Next up, we have 6.01, the Human Resources Report. Do we have a motion?
Oh, gosh. Hold on. Give me a second. I would like to make a motion to approve the Queen Anne's County Board of Education Human Resources Report as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next up, we have the overnight field trip, the FFA State Convention. Dr. Schreckengoss? Oh,
Mr. Tolley is
switched
it up.
Okay,
Thank you, sorry.
Good evening, President Capes, Dr. Kibler, board members, and executive team. For the record, my name is Adam Tolley, Supervisor of Career and Technical Education. I'm here tonight representing Mr. Brian Stokes, our ag teacher and FFA advisor, who could not be here this evening. So on behalf of Mr. Stokes, I am requesting permission for the Queen Anne's County FFA to attend the Maryland State Convention in Garrett County, Maryland, from June 22nd to June 25th.
We got any questions? No?
I actually have one, sorry. The cost of the bus, it's only 6 students, correct? Do you have, I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar by insurance, do you have to use the bus?
It's tough. And the transportation is an issue that we, I've had conversation with Dr. Kibler, something that we are looking at for the future, not just for this trip, but for other things that we are doing with Skills USA and things like that. So we are looking for some more affordable options. And then even as of this week, recently talked to other organizations that have buses that we could potentially use. But for now, until we get some, protocols established, that's what we're kind of locked into.
So what do we have to do to get protocols? I mean, that's like $4,000, it's like $4,000 added on. I kind of did the math.
Are we allowed to have parents transport?
No, that would be a liability issue.
Okay. Just checking.
So we have to be responsible for it and really having them on the.
It just has to be okay, all right, sorry.
But
I just feel bad for the, everybody having to fundraise for that much, but I guess if it's through school, okay.
Mr. Tolley has some ideas that we might be bringing in the future, specific CTE transportation, but.
Obviously, I'll be in support.
Yes, but we've been talking about it the last few weeks. I just don't think we're comfortable with where the budget is with it right now to move forward with it, but maybe in another year or so, it would be a bigger upfront cost, but then we would have it, and so we'll be discussing it.
It's like a great trip.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Like vans, the school did, like 15 passenger vans?
Oh.
Not within our fleet. We have our special needs transportation, but that's one option we're looking into in the future that we discuss with Mr. Tolley about adding that onto that, so we have a particular type of situation to also transport the students to, if they're renovating a house or if they're doing, culinary work somewhere, that type of situation. But we're not quite there yet.
And what is the holdup on using any vehicles that we have within the system already for events like that? Insurance?
The COMAR regulations.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's.
Anybody else? No. Do we have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to approve the overnight field trip for the Queen Anne's County FFA to travel to Garrett County to participate in the Maryland FFA State Convention Fiscal impact, $6,500. Budget source, fundraisers, QAC alumni and supporters, CTE Perkins budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we have Mr. Combs with 6.03, purchase approval, Microsoft licensing. You can stay up here.
As he gets set up, I'll just remind the board, we're coming to that fun time of year where we start spending money preparing for next school year already, without this school year being finished. So this is the start.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Josh Combs. I am the technology supervisor. Tonight, for the first agenda, I'm looking for purchase approval for Microsoft license. This is a annual renewal. This obviously is the first time we've been doing it since 96, 97. The price is the same as last year. Hasn't went up. We're still under the same contract. We're in year 4 out of 5. It's actually going to cost us a little bit less this year than last year because we have a little bit less staff and we pay by staff. So we're actually not going to cost us anything more this year. Any questions? It's as a renewal. I mean, it's not much of it.
Gotta have it to do the work.
Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve, for Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the MEEC Microsoft EES Agreement Year 4 for the term of August 1st, 2026 to July 31st, 2027 with Bell Technologics. Fiscal impact, $73,952.64. Budget source, local FY27 technology software licensing budget.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Looks like we have you again, Lightspeed Internet filtering.
Yes, this is, again, another renewal. We've been using this for quite a few years now. This is our internet content filtering both for staff and students for the county. Looking from last year to this year, about an increase of about 4.5%, which is pretty good for a software increase. And then you'll see in the agenda item just different pricing through other vendors and resellers, just to give you an idea of what it costs per unit and what we're paying for.
Questions? No? We have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Ed to approve the MEEC Microsoft EES Agreement Year for the term, wait, no, that's not the same one. Is it the same one?
Oh, that's one.
Okay, sorry, I didn't click down. Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the purchase of the Lightspeed Internet Content Filter subscription through the reseller Data Networks for the term of July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. Fiscal impact, $64,170. Budget source, local FY27 technology software licensing budget.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Student Chromebooks.
Okay, so, yeah, you get me. So this is trying to do devices through 1 through 8. At the moment, we're a little bit lower than the number I originally had proposed in the capital budget. Really started in December in this year because of the AI boom. Memory and SSDs have really skyrocketed, and then Chromebooks have switched over from one type of memory to the more expensive memory for AI support. So it went up dramatically more than I expected. So this is at least to get us started, so I can at least do the middle schools and most of the first and second grade, because if I don't order now, I won't be ready before the start of the year, and then we'll see if we can adjust some other budget items in order to fund the rest of them. But right now, this meets what I originally proposed to you guys back in March for the capital.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, well, yeah.
So what's going on with a current Chromebook? You said the memory, like things are...
Oh, well, for the pricing, why it costs so much more than it did, say, 3 years ago, about a 30% increase
Gotcha.
3 years ago, because of the AI boom has caused all the hardware, especially with, anything with really a piece of RAM in it.
We're in the cycle of replacing them.
Yes,
is what I
so
think she's
this
trying to
Is this,
do.
is this a natural thing that we're typically doing during the
Yes,
school
part of
year?
our-
What was the last time this kind of
4
purchase
years.
was?
We do it every 4 years for each grade level, for each set of grade levels. We try to do high school, middle, and elementary. Because of the funding shortfall last year, we couldn't do elementary at all. So we're trying to catch back up in order to get us back on a 4-year cycle. We're already 5 years in elementary. We're already over 4 years at the middle school. And by that point, because we use them every day, the chargers, the batteries, they're pretty much well used by the time we're finished with them after that period of time. And it's very common. That's what the standard practice for the state of Maryland. If you look at other school districts, you do it every 4 years. You have them 4 years, and then with 15.
And what was the cost 4 years ago?
It was like
30% less.
1.3 something, I think is what it was.
But it was 30% less, which I think. whatever
And
that
does this
number
have anything, is this, correct me if I'm wrong, weren't we on some sort of leasing program with some other computers, or we were doing?
Yeah, that we had to, the last round we did, didn't we have like a leasing, we had to
You
do
have a
the
choice. You can obviously
blender.
purchase them outright, or you can lease, but obviously a lease you're paying interest on of some sort, so you're just spreading the payments over like any car
But this is
loan.
separate from that, or was that the end of?
We're at the end
last-
of that leasing, we're at the end of that 4-year leasing, and now we're,
Will these computers replace any of those computers?
yes, we replace all of them.
And what happens to the old computers?
We recycle them or take as many parts out as possible for spare parts. We'll rip the screens out with any batteries, and we try to recycle them as best as we can.
I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, it is what it is, but man, that's a
Yeah, it's a
big
hit.
chunk of change.
Yeah. Now, this is 1 through 8, so this is a much bigger chunk than we normally.
And this would give a Chromebook for every middle school and high schooler in the county?
My high school.
1 through 8.
Oh, 1 through 8.
School and
But this didn't,
This is a little short to do 1-to-1. Right now, this is about 1-to-1 for middle schools and about half for 1st through 4th.
and what we're trying to do is find, because this is capital money.
It's capital
right?
money.
So because this quote came in more than we were expecting, what we're trying to find is where throughout other capital projects, you know how sometimes we have the surpluses, where can we find money to round out and keep our 1-to-1 for all the grade levels?
How much are we short right now to do so?
Was there an estimated cost?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's about 435,000.
How much?
435,000.
That's what we're short to have 1-to-1
Oh,
across
sorry,
the-
455,310
for every
for a
student.
1-to-1 for 1 through 8.
We already have 9 to 12. We're in the middle of that one right now.
Yeah, that's next year.
So just thinking outside the box.
Sure.
What do they get? Like, what does a child get? They get a Chromebook, a case, chargers, all that stuff?
plus all the software.
And the Google
all the
Admin license,
security
which is we
systems,
need.
everything they
so-
need to do their work, be on this network only, because
Yep.
they can't
So it's
get
not like a
outside.
private computer, like a computer that a parent bought could
No.
access it?
No, we don't know. Right now, everything is, because we filter everything, including the home, so everything is used.
Yeah, even the
through
home
our
thing
device.
is important, I think.
I know I
The only
squabbled
other option
about
is pen and
this
paper.
before, but since we're always talking about, doing away with phones and getting kids like off screen time and mental health, is there a way we can scroll back with kids? I understand like everything we do is on the computer, but is there any way to be less screen time and also not spending so much money on Chromebooks that I've seen how these kids abuse them? And I didn't even spend $745 for my own computer, so is there any, or?
That's outside of my
I
control.
mean, basically what we would need to do as a district is make that educational decision that that's the direction we're going, kind of like what we're doing with phones. But that would require a lot of planning and a lot of change to the curricular materials we have and things like that, because we're so reliant on it right now. Making a decision just today to all of a sudden not be 1-to-1 would.
There's a lot of pieces connected to it, because we have the scale, like I said, descriptions, how we collect data, how we test, how we how we do the day-to-day, we would have to change all of that. I mean, we certainly can.
Yeah, we can definitely look
at as
into
a
it.
plan if we wanted to.
It goes directly into what
Downgrade
Mr.
that.
McNeil was speaking about.
What,
I concur.
Mhm.
She's saying at the same time, how
Yeah, everything's on the computer. What did we do with kids whose parents don't want them to take a Chromebook home at night and they may need it for something? Are they
have an option?
That's never really, the only time we've ever, is a student fears that it will get stolen at home, we tell them that we leave it at the school and they pick it up in the morning.
Okay.
But for the most part, that's a pretty.
So they don't even have the option to opt their kid out of a Chromebook, like to bring home, like they don't want, like what if they
Well, one
don't
of our four
allow?
keeps them at the building.
But if
One
they
of our
opted out, how would they do their work, is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
But if you don't want your child to have a Chromebook at your house, that's your option, that should be an option for you.
Okay, and I ask the question again, how do they do their work?
That's what I just asked. Is there an alternate way?
that's what she would ask.
Well, I mean, with so many things, being a Google school district, in theory, they can get into their Google accounts on.
They can have
They
offline
have to
documents.
get it
They can do offline
in
documents.
another device.
On a, not a separate note, similar note, if there is a Chromebook that is damaged, like the kid drops it, the kid's a kid and something happens, what is the financial responsibility of the parents in replacing that? Nothing? Like, do we have any, and I say this as a parent.
Only if it's intentional.
How do you know that? I mean, of course, they're going to say they didn't mean to make it intentional.
Been doing it for
So
12
my
years.
question is, in terms of like trying to help kind of offset this 400,000, has the school system ever considered some sort of insurance plan, or I don't know, I have a gap between my kids, so my
When
older
they
kid,
first came out, they did,
why do we get away from that?
parents were required to purchase insurance so that.
I remember purchasing.
Because I remember.
So why don't we do
purchasing
that anymore?
I don't know.
I'm thinking outside the box and
Fifth grade,
sort of creating some sort
first
of, I know that there's probably some warranties and stuff that come on here, but I mean, kids are kids, and no kid's gonna be like, I threw it on the ground. So if, I would also know that if my child had a Chromebook and I was responsible for replacing it at cost, I would sign up for the insurance wholeheartedly.
Right now, we do have accidental, so most things are covered. You drop it off a desk, it's covered. If it's, a lot of screen breaks are the big ones, turn off keys and stuff like that, you see a lot of, but screens are turn replaced, they're the biggest one, and that is covered, our insurance covers all of that. The only time is if you get intentional, like where the kid will tell you straight up, I threw this across the room. Well, that's intentional damage. If I threw it and broke a window, who pays for that at a school? Right, and it falls down to what the policy is and who's responsible, but, it's treated like any other textbook at that point.
I do have some, this isn't maybe not a conversation for today, but with piggybacking on Alexis, if kids have the ability to access their school stuff from home, like the opposite traffic, I just wonder how much.
But because of equity reasons, we can't assume that children will have.
But they would be able to take it home. Like if a parent opts to not have it, to use maybe something that's not, I'm just trying to think too about how to like roll this back, because this is just going to continue. Like technology is going to get more, and every 4 years, there's going to be this increase that we can't prepare for. It's maybe a conversation we can have at a later date. But I just think that kids having these $800 devices, it's wild how much they're increasing in cost, and we're
And I
giving
did this
them
with
to
multiple vendors
8-year-olds.
to make sure that price was same across the board, and they all came across within $20 of each other.
Yeah.
So I didn't just quote just one company. This just happened to be the lowest one.
Oh, I don't have any issues with how you acquired
Yeah,
it. I'm choking on the
crazy,
cost
like how
right
much
now.
it is affected across the board.
This
And it does hit us hard.
If we do want to continue the conversation about having a virtual inclement weather plan, this
I need
is
something.
this is going to be
Potential.
necessary. I know, I can't remember the county off the top of my head, but I know that there is one county that's, because of the cost, you all are not wrong about any of that, obviously, rolling back the one-to-one for their school system, and they know that that means that they're going to have to go away from their virtual plan as well for the inclement weather. So it's the question and the discussion we're having right now is happening literally everywhere in this state for sure, and I'm sure across the country. So, yeah.
Well, should we try harder to stretch another year or two past the 4?
This is already in it one extra year.
We already did one extra year for the elementary.
And,
And
I
they're
mean-
already complaining like crazy right now that they're not charging and they're not,
Is it?
and the USB cords don't work anymore. The charging cables don't work anymore.
What did we hear today, Dr. Schreckengoss, on a school visit? They needed almost half of their schools replaced. They had a request for us if we were not doing the full replacement for next year, because they're just getting so bad holding their charge and things like that, because we've already extended that one extra.
And I would love to do maybe batteries, but we've got to hand do every single one. That's 6,000 devices to do by hand, but I can't find batteries either. I tried last month and we bought every battery in every depot possible for this. That's another part that gets difficult to find during different times of the year.
I'm just, one thing I'm thinking about in terms of the conversation moving forward is if kids have access to their Chromebooks at school,
Yep.
I think I'm looking at as a parent of a child, I mean, I certainly don't want to spend any more money, but I also think too, there could be potentially the opportunity to look at maybe not leasing them, but having it where, I mean, it's kind of an amazing, right, like to have a computer. My kids moved to this county and got computers in elementary school. I was like, this is wild. Like, my kid is getting a computer to take home, and it might be standard everywhere. But I also think, too, there could be an option of there being some sort of annual, be able to take it home. I don't know. Just trying to think about ways to increase, I know that there's a lot of conversations people are having of wanting more and things. They want more teachers, they want more, and everything costs money, and if money's an issue, we have to start thinking outside the box. We can't have everything, and as much as we want it, the numbers are what they are. So I'm just thinking maybe for a future conversation with the board, talking about how parents can maybe offset some of these costs by, if we had some sort of program where, in order to take it home, there's like an annual thing.
Can you remind me, where are we at on the payment for, or in the number of years for the high schools?
That's next year. High schools are up for next year.
So one thing that we could do, Dr. Schreckengoss, over the coming months is we could start looking into what it might look like if we went away from the one-to-one. And if we went ahead and did this, since high school's next, we probably would not change it at the high school level, but we would have these newer laptops that we're buying right now for elementary that we could push up. If the board would decide to make a major decision like that and go away from one-to-one in general. So I'm telling you, I don't know, Dr. Schreckengoss, if you're feeling it, this would be a huge shift to make on June 3rd for next year. But if we went ahead and did this, it would give us some time to continue this discussion into next school year to what that could look like when the high school ones come up, and maybe we wouldn't need to do it if we were going to make that decision as a district. That's just one potential strategy we could go right now.
Okay.
Which kind of goes with what you're suggesting.
I think at the end of the day, I think this purchase is going to happen, but I think I would like to continue with, if the other board members are in agreement on how, on our end, we can utilize this in a way that helps kind of get where all of our heads are at collectively. Any more questions?
Do we have a motion?
I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the purchase of 3,467 Dell Chromebooks, fiscal impact $2,069,799, budget source capital funds.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, Clear Touch Interactive Flat Panels.
All right, this is another capital project. So this is part of our 10-year plan to put some kind of projecting device in all the classrooms in the county. So we were looking at 79 flat panels for Bayside Elementary, Center Elementary, and Kent Elementary, and that'll be for all the classrooms. And then I can include down here prices throughout multiple vendors. This is something we're looking at to do over the summer as much as we can. And we'll have them delivered directly to the schools, and then from there we'll start installing them.
And are these the flat panels that are replacing, like, doing things on projectors?
Yeah.
So what we did was, I think we've talked a little bit about how we pull principals with our supervisors once a month for meetings. And so during the budget planning process, I actually think we talked about this for those of you that joined the budget discussion meeting. We were talking about at the different grade levels, what the best technology is.
We
for each level
reevaluated
in the
to
classroom.
get the most, what's the
the-
cheapest option and what works the best. And this is for the elementaries, and we have a different plan for middle school, and we have a different plan for the high schools moving forward.
Based on feedback.
Based on feedback and based on.
So middle
save
schools and
money.
high schools don't have the interactive TVs?
Tell them can you tell her
Sorry.
what the plan is for middle and high school when we do
High
replacement?
Middle school, just do standard projectors, not interactive, just standard projection. We'd rather save the money of not having interactive because of the the cost of that to at least project. The high schools would like to really just to have a TV.
Okay.
Coded directly to the computer.
And when is that change going to take, like, in other words, can any,
Whenever the next school comes online, what they decide is what we're going to do.
will any of the current interactives you said they're going to stay in the middle school, or they're going to go more projector? Sorry, you just said the middle school plan.
The middle school plan was not being interactive. They have projectors now. Most of them are interactive. As we move on, they'll be non-interactive. We only did one school so far. So when their 10-year cycle goes back up, we will switch over to regular projectors that have been.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So in middle schools currently, there are the interactive TVs in some of them.
Interactive projectors. So they're a little
Oh,
bit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
the
basically
difference.
projects, but you can use a pen to, like a wireless mouse, to basically control it versus
Gotcha.
a TV, which you can physically touch, like a laptop screen.
Okay. So there's no ability to move what's currently in the middle schools into the elementary schools because, okay.
Yeah.
And based on the cycle too.
Yeah, very different technologies.
If there would be a room that could work to be saved, we would save it, but most of it, they're done.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
No, but I would like to make this a statement to those listening, so people understand that the last two items are being budgeted out of capital.
Yes.
Even if we decided not to spend either one of these dollar values, they would not get us any more teachers, they would not get us any more staff, because it is capital. It is a separate funding budget, and it doesn't make a difference. We either spend it or we don't, but it doesn't help anything else that everybody's been asking for. Every moment we ask for money. So, that's all I had to say. Thank you.
And so this is for elementary schools. Are the others three, sorry. Okay, and then are the others planned for next year? This is the first, like,
I have a
rollout, right?
10-year plan.
A 10-year.
A 10-year plan, so it's
Okay.
like 2 or 3 per year.
Okay.
But like if you do
And
a
we're
high
like year
school,
3
if you do a
now,
high
4.
school, that would be the only one in that year. 'cause it's
How
so
did we
much bigger.
pick?
Based on what the technology they had before and how old it was.
Okay.
Oldest went first.
Gotcha. All right.
And I would just add,
There was a logic to it. You gotta come with something.
Just making sure.
but these
Yeah.
are all great questions. And
No, absolutely.
The reality is, not every one lasts a full 10 years. So like we're having some issues with a couple classrooms at Stevensville Middle School. So we're trying to find money to be able to replace a couple projectors at Stevensville Middle School until they come up in the cycle. So it doesn't mean just as soon as this school gets it, hey, we're not going to talk to you about this for 10 years.
Yeah.
It'll just be a little bit more piecemeal as we
Yeah.
go along.
And do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the purchase of 79 Clear Touch interactive flat panel units, fiscal impact $179,848.75, budget source capital.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Next up, we have 6.07 Navigate 360 Behavior Threat Assessment Case Management Bundle. Mr. Evans.
Good evening, President Capes, Dr. Kibler, members of the board, executive team. For the record, my name is Matt Evans, Supervisor of Student Services. The contract before you is with Navigate 360 for Behavior Threat Assessment Case Management Bundle. The purpose of this is to enhance school safety through the CSTAG, or Comprehensive School Threat Assessment Guidelines. We use this to provide all schools with a digital platform for asynchronous trainings, e-learning, data storage for all behavior threat assessments and suicide risk assessments. The fiscal impact is $57,500, which is funded through a Department of Justice Stop Violence School Grant. This would be for 1 year.
Any questions? Sorry.
I do have a question. It's to Dr. Kibler. Was this something that was discussed when you guys had meetings about just things going on in the county in terms of something that we needed? I mean, I think it's awesome that it's.
We already have this. This
So-
is just
Oh, it's just a renewal.
This is a
Gotcha.
3-year grant. This would be the 2nd year.
Understood.
But it is helpful, and I don't know that either of the two meetings I talked about, we specifically talked about this, but I'm sure that in the smaller work group that this product comes.
It's, yes, and we've, so this year was the first year we used it, and it's both for actual threats by students externally and also threats of self-harm. And so we investigate all those cases, and all the behavior threat assessment teams in each school receive training, but also it provides a digital platform where we can store and have these cases that also, so that if staff are to change, we also have this information.
So it's a holding place for the information. Okay.
As well as training.
And you've conducted training with what groups of employees?
So that's a good question. The behavior threat assessment teams are made up of administrators, school counselors, school psychologists, SROs, PPWs, and mental health specialists. And there's 2 big levels of trainings that we do. The first one is asynchronous. The second one is live synchronous, that is 4 hours long, and we've completed 3 of those, and we'll do another one in October for SROs that have not had it, new SROs, new counselors, things like that.
Can you just for somebody who isn't familiar with the platform, how does it work? Is there an alert? Like, is it something that is brought to your attention? Like, how do you get notified that there's something that needs to be addressed? And then.
So that part's not digital. So, students say things and we become aware. It's
Yes.
like, okay, we need to assess this threat and see how imminent it is, how serious it is. Do they have the provisions to actually follow through with the threat? So there's a training that goes through all of that. And the team, it's a team approach.
Okay.
And then decisions are made based on that.
Okay. I mean, I think we should definitely get it, but what's the plan once the grant runs out, or just reapply, or just have funds ready?
Another good question. So this is the 2nd year. We'll have it for next year as well. A lot of it involves the training and the actual setting up of the platform. The projected, once we have to sustain this ourselves, should be half the cost, around $20,000 per year.
And one of the advantages to our grants is to be able to try things like this without using operating dollars, and it gives us a little bit of time to plan to absorb it into local funds.
Right.
Do we have a motion?
I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the 1-year contract with Navigate 360 for the Behavior Threat Assessment Case Management Bundle. Fiscal impact, $57,500. Budget source, Department of Justice Stop School Violence Grant.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have 6.08, 2026-27 school year meal prices with Ms. Hickey. And Mr. Watkins.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Rob Watkins, Chief Financial Officer.
Good evening, President Capes, Dr. Kibler, board members, and executive team. For the record, I'm Julie Hickey, Coordinator of Food Services. I come before you tonight seeking approval for a meal price increase of 25 cents per meal and a 5-cent increase for a carton of milk for school year 26-27. Queen Anne's County Public School meal prices have remained the same since school year 24-25, and at that time, a 15-cent increase was approved by the board. Historically, QACPS has implemented a meal price increase every 2 years. Due to rising food and operational costs and a wage increase for hourly food service workers, an increase of 25 cents per meal and a 5-cent increase for a carton of milk is recommended for the school year 26-27. With the 25% increase per meal and the 5-cent increase for milk, the rates for the 26-27 school year would be $2 for breakfast, and that would be at elementary, middle, and the high school. Elementary lunches would increase to $3. Middle school and high school lunches would increase to $3.25. staff lunches to $4.50, and milk to 60 cents for a carton. Happy to take any questions anybody may have.
We went over this last month just to prepare, and this would be, whatever we do here now will also help prepare and inform the food service budget when we come back on the 17th, as well as part of all of the budget.
I don't remember who brought it. Do we know what the surrounding counties are themselves?
We do not. A couple of this, Caroline County, Dorchester County, Kent County are all 100% CEP, which means meals are free to all their students. I have not been able to find out what the surrounding counties are. We have it as of this school year, but not this upcoming school year.
I just don't like increasing prices on parents, especially in the times we're in right now.
Right. And I can appreciate that. And like we said, our operational costs, our food costs continue to increase. And in order to be able to give our hourly workers an increase.
Life itself is increasing right now.
Exactly, you know, and so we've been able to hold them where they are at for the last 2 years.
So the operating budget is including a proposed increase, not the food service budget, but in addition, but in the operating budget, we're proposing an increase to the hourly rate for our employees, and so we're trying to mirror that in food service as well, to bring that up to $18 an hour from $16 an hour, just to recognize times are tight. I mean, it's not easy all around, but we know how hard folks work, and it's important to me to be able to raise those salaries, and this obviously helps offset that. It's not an easy decision, but it's also missing that increase in COVID, and it makes sense with the funding we were getting, but just everything operationally costing more, it just snowballs.
What is our debt owed now for our school lunch?
For outstanding meal charges, as of this morning, it was about $3,200.
$3,200?
$3,200 countywide.
And that's across
Across
everybody?
all 14 schools, yes.
I mean, I know periodically they have people donate. What happens if that doesn't get covered?
Whatever is not covered by any donations is the responsibility of the school where that student is at that current time, so it doesn't roll with that student from year to year.
And is 3,200 like an average number, what we carry every year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we do still have a donation from several years ago that we will use to pay off.
Oh, that'll cover this?
Mhm.
Okay.
Whatever we don't get from any other donations. We have several churches that pay off a couple schools at the end of the year. We'll get some anonymous donations.
Is there anything like, I know several parents at their school, you know, they may or may not do it for like different clubs. Is there do we have like an actual link where anybody could go on if they wanted to donate towards like the school lunch or something else?
We do not. Occasionally I'll get a phone call and they'll ask if somebody wants to donate what they can do, and we just, suggest they send a check.
Okay.
And then, they can designate it for a particular school, particular student. We will occasionally have a family of a graduating student who will say will donate the funds remaining on their student's account to pay off outstanding debt as well. But there's not a link out there to be able to do it now.
But you bring up an interesting idea, because we have the Queen Anne's County Education Partnership now, and that's on our website, and we're trying to direct people that just want to reach out about other things, that this is a place where you can donate funds. So what we could do is we could talk to that organization about, is there a way to set up just specifically to donate for people
Because you can
that
put
are
it in
interested?
with Chesapeake Charities, you can put in your memo what you want it to go to.
But what we could maybe do is talk with Ms. Luking about doing that and setting up something direct so people see it and know that it's there. I know, because we've talked about all the different projects but there might be people out there that want to do just specifically the food service. So that's an interesting idea and something that we can look into, Dr. Schreckengast.
So I have a question.
Yeah, because go ahead.
I'm sorry. So if they are donating to the school and they're writing a check to the school, not that this should be an incentive, but are they also getting the tax benefits? Because I know some folks will look into that. Some folks at the end of the year have to donate because they're trying to break even. If they have that option and they know they're getting a tax benefit, that might be a different avenue for some folks. Not saying that
That's what Chesapeake with
if they went
the
to the charity,
partnership.
but if they're just writing a check to the school, it might be.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, that's
They
so.
can, you have to talk
There's
to the
typically
tax
thank you
person.
letters and grads, they're sent out on behalf. We don't
So that they
typically
can-
solicit donations for those.
Right.
Tracking
And
that,
we
but I'm
did
saying
have
if somebody does come up and they're like, hey, because business owners, I have to donate $10,000 this year, and they have to have the tax write-off, but I want to help feed families.
Sure.
But they need that tax write-off. They could go through the charity, but if they're writing you a check, is there a way for the school?
We
or is
did
there-
provide some,
provide a tax-
we have
We get it.
provided companies with documentation that it was a charitable donation. Yeah, most people, it's a personal donation of a check.
Understand
But
that.
yes,
I'm just
we
throwing
have
that
had
out
two
there. Folks
businesses
know.
that we
Some
can,
business owners that might be watching might be like, oh, I didn't realize I could go do that. Now,
Yeah.
just trying to get the information.
we can
out there.
provide them with whatever they would need.
Good idea.
That'll also work, because I've had most parents know with their kids that go to their school about, like, the giving closet, and then also if they wanted to donate for field trips, like if kids don't have the money to go on field trips, is there something specific for the school, or could they also donate through Ashley Lucan's stuff for that? Or is there something specific already set up for, like, field trip funds or the giving closet, where if they want to donate items or money?
Yes, they could reach out directly to the principal, and
Okay.
the principal has a discretionary account that ensures that every student gets what they need. So if
Okay.
they'd like to supplement that, that would certainly be appreciated.
And then on occasion, things come directly to the central office, and we try to put it to the school that it came from. If it doesn't, then we allocate it out.
Okay. Thank you.
That's what you did with the Safeway gift cards, correct?
That's right. Safeway gave us some gift cards earlier. Took us a few minutes to figure out how we were going to use them, but eventually we decided to use them to provide snacks in our nurse's office, snacks and drinks and things in our nurse's office. And we thought that was a great way to spend that $1,000 to kind of help kids who ginger ales and crackers and that sort of stuff.
We get quite a few gift cards from Acme and Safeway through their Nourishing Neighbors program, and we donate them to the backpack programs, whether the churches that support the backpack programs, but we get quite a lot of support from the Nourishing Neighbor program.
I have a question. So is the 78,000 that you think that could be potentially, or almost 79,000 increased revenue based on previous?
Number of meals, number of meals served.
So when I do the math, that's about 315,000 meals. Is that around what we serve the county?
200,
Yes,
the
yep.
number was 220,000.
That's right. I don't have that one up in front of me. Hang on. I believe it was 220,000 lunches and 95,000 breakfasts. Is what that number was.
Calculated from.
I can confirm that in a second.
Well, I mean, as much as none of us want to increase the lunch prices, I feel better about it if we can be assured that most of it is going, it's concentrated on the wage increase for the hourly workers, by keeping food costs down and making sure everything else is.
220,000 lunches and 95,000 breakfasts.
Mr. Watkins, when we looked at it this afternoon, it's almost 1-for-1 going to
Okay.
cover the increase to the food service workers.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything? No? Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the increase to meal prices by 25 cents per meal and the price of a carton of milk by 5 cents for the 2026-27 school year.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Dr. Schreckengoss with 6.09 Edmonton.
Thank you.
Switch again?
Yes, nope, I got it. Good evening, President QACPS and Dr. Kibler, members of the board and executive team. For the record, my name is Jennifer Schreckengost, Assistant Superintendent, and I come this evening to request approval for the purchase of a 3-year contract with Edmentum. That is a digital curricula company that provides us credit recovery opportunities and our high school summer programming. We are currently with Edmentum and have been for several years. This is just a renewal for a 3-year period.
It's basically the program that allows us to, we have about 200 students for covering something like 400 credits over the summers.
So how does it work, I guess, is what I'm wondering. Is it it goes on the Chromebook, it assigns their work, and it just,
Yes.
I'll let you explain, sorry.
A student who needs a credit recovery, or who, again, is in a summer program for that purpose, or even at a Rise Academy for that purpose, they become enrolled in a course. The curricula is available. Teachers can help supplement instruction, but it can also be a self-directed and self-paced course to enable the compacting that is needed to cover a semester's worth of work independently.
And this is mainly high school students then?
Correct.
Okay. Or only high school students?
Yes. They do have opportunities for middle school. We don't use it in that way.
And the students aren't on their own with this. We have a teacher that's guiding through and giving and assisting them while they're doing it. This isn't what you're seeing with like the online college and things like that where they're totally on their own.
So this is a large sum. Which students, what, is it because they're disciplinary, or are they just falling behind, were they lazy, were they sick, were they, what is the reasoning that, because this is a large sum, but I mean, if students don't want to do their work during the school year, I'm not saying that they're all late, but like, what are the majority of the reasons? I know there's people get sick, there's families, there's leave out, like there's plenty of proper things, but when do we stop catering to students that don't want to, and then they come here and still don't want to?
Well, it's difficult to assign the reason that a student fails a course. There are many reasons that could happen, but there are required courses students must pass in order to graduate. So by providing these opportunities, we ensure graduation for students who may not be able to do that.
And then if they just choose not to, then they're just not going to graduate, and that's their own decision, and they move on with life.
If they do not earn the required credits to graduate, then they don't. This also has come in handy in situations where students have been enrolled in dual enrollment courses and then for whatever reason withdraw from the course, but it's too late for them to enter into an in-person seat in the high school. So it's an opportunity for them to make good use of that time and still gain a credit.
Where we would lose them in their full-time status as students, affecting enrollment and funding. Again, this is a 3-year contract, so it's basically $28,000 for the year, right?
Yeah, I was just looking at the invoice, and so it's $84,000, but then, just so I understand, that's what we would only be approving the 28 or the full amount, and that's what it ends up being.
Right, the contract itself is for 3 years at
Gotcha.
$84,600, but we only pay $28,210 each year.
Gotcha.
And we had budgeted actually for $50,000 for this purpose, so we're coming in way under.
So that's a really good point. So we are trying to be, I know we're spending a lot of money tonight, we try to be responsible. And what Dr. Schreckengaus found was, coming out of COVID, we were paying for a lot more licenses with Edmentum than we needed. And so in talking with our high schools, the Rise Academy director, we were able to reduce this cost. We are seeking approval because the contract that we are signing is above that $50,000 threshold. And so we would not bring this back over the next 2 years because you are approving it right now for over that $50,000 amount, and it's only affecting us $28,000. If you wanted me to give a minute, I could go back and find just how many credits it allows us to recover in the summer. If I pull up an old board presentation, I wish I would have thought of that earlier, but we pride ourselves on always having that graduation rate that's one of the highest in the state, over 95%. Last year it was 100%. I'm not sure what we're going to be at for this year, but this is a huge tool that helps us to maintain that. And we just know what this does for students to have their high school diploma.
So the students are, for the most part, completing the courses, being successful, so.
Very much so. And something really nice about this company is that if we purchase 200 licenses, that means I could take 7 as many classes as I wanted on one license, and when I'm finished, my license could then be used by Ms. Bent. So it isn't, doesn't expire with the person. They're recyclable, which is very user-friendly.
Right. I mean, we had, almost 600 kids that graduated, so 200 license divided, that's enough.
And we'll use them this summer with our summer academies, for ninth graders who maybe haven't earned the 5 credits that we know is indicative of future success. It's a great way for them to get, to recover the credits that they missed and be back on track again in 10th grade.
$28,000 a year for all that, rather than putting them back in a class again, I think seems like the better choice.
Does the state recognize or provide funding for summer classes and programs like this? Or is the state, it's just kind of on the local school?
So that's a great question. So when we came out of COVID, ESSER dollars were allowed to be used for summer school purposes. And so we had some really great, robust programs at the elementary and middle school level, enrichment things that I'm sorry to go that went away, because my children would have really liked it themselves too. But when ESSER ran out, that summer school funding ran out as well, and we've had to pick this up locally. So even though we have this Edmentum contract, the summer school program is roughly $30,000 a year for high school credit recovery out of local dollars. We also have extended school year for special education that is funded through special education dollars, and the migrant program over the summer from the migrant grant. But we have to, the other programs we have to fund local, and that's why we've only, to this point, been able, with just the budget issues we've had over the past few years, been able to maintain the high school credit recovery, and we felt like that was extremely important to keep our graduation rates where they are. I hope I answered that question.
High school, from the summer school summary, 169 students registered to attend credit recovery high school. Over 200 credits were attempted.
You have a motion?
I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the purchase of a 3-year contract with Edmentum to provide credit recovery in high school summer programming. Fiscal impact $84,630. Budget source local.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, Mr. Watkins, 6.10, purchase approval, Power School. And Dr. Knoll.
Good evening again, Dr. Kibler, board members. For the record, Rob Watkins, CFO.
Michael Knoll, Director of HR.
Today, we're here seeking an approval for a 4-year contract with Power School for a program called Employee Records. This program is a human resources and personnel management system designed for school districts. The system provides centralized electronic employee records management, including employee demographic information, employment history, certifications, contracts, payroll-related data, benefit information, evaluations, leave tracking, and compliance documentation. This program is intended to combine and add to our current pile of products from Power School to kind of help us digitize our program. One of the initiatives that Dr. Knoll and I have embarked on is trying to make things more efficient. As you can imagine, there's a lot of pass back in paper, even in 2026. This program will allow us to move to a fully digital employee record system that connects to our finance system. In the world of position control, as you guys know, positions are 85% of our budget. So this program is intended to streamline with the applicant tracking system, which is how people apply to Queen Anne's County Public Schools, complete their employee records and digitizes the records, and then it backs up and connects directly to our finance system. It is intended specifically to make things more efficient and to save time in the long run.
So basically, someone from inception of us posting a job to applying for the job, to interviewing for the job, accepting the job, working, transferring, all the step increases that they may get through retirement is all embedded into this one system, and everything talks to each component because it is part of the Power School world.
We are seeking a 4-year contract. If you remember last year, we signed a 5-year contract with the other 13 programs that we have with Power School. They have been generous with us to give us a 20% discount to bring this program to Queen County and kind of complete the final piece that we need to digitize the platforms. 4-year deal also allowed us to lock in the annual lift at 4%, the same lift that all the other contracts are on.
Is there a way to transfer from the current system into the new Power School system, into the employee records?
We already are transferring, basically, the frontline system that we were using. That contract is expiring. So we're going into the applicant tracking portion of Power School. The employee records aspect of it then ties the applicant tracking into e-finance. So what we mentioned a second ago, where everything from posting the job to the employee moving to retirement is all embedded into an electronic system, and it's going to make our department smile.
I was gonna say, how have you been doing it not like that?
Paper.
Oh my God.
And it's a lot.
I mean,
It is a lot. And like I said, we are getting away from frontline, so that annual fee is going to go away, and that will then transfer into the Power School aspect.
The most important aspect of this program is that it backs up to the finance program nicely. It will help us ensure that we're spending the money the way we're supposed to be spending money with the positions we should be. It just adds extra layers of security and supervision to the program.
And by Ms. Watkins being able to negotiate this with the savings from the other Power School products, it helps us with our FY27 budget request, where we had this in there. That just gets to come off the FY27 budget request, because we're building this in now with savings.
We still haven't hit the savings mark yet. We're still inside of less money than we would have spent. We had negotiated the contract.
Mr. Watkins is very convincing when talking to salesmen.
And just tracking based on the other conversation we had about the bundle, we are approving it, and then every year when I'm looking at the breakdown, it just wouldn't come to the board. You would just go.
That is correct. It's an annual cost.
Do we have a motion?
Sorry. Can I say?
Yeah.
Mr. Watkins and I are committed to you all and the public knowing where we're spending this money.
I have zero complaints.
No, so what I want to say is, we are bringing this because the contract we are signing is over the $50,000 threshold. We could skirt this by doing individual years that we're going to renew. That is not transparent to you all and the public. And so that's why we're bringing this and making sure you see we're capitalizing on the savings by doing a 5-year plan and showing you where every dollar is going. And so I thank Mr. Watkins for the savings and being on the same page with myself to make sure that you guys know what we're spending money on.
I would say, speaking for the board, we appreciate that. Any questions before I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the 4-year contract with Power School for employee records, fiscal impact $87,258.25, budget source FY26 and FY27 operating budget.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Barraclough, purchase approval for welding equipment. Mr. Tolley.
Good evening, President QACPS, Vice President Dreyer, board members, Dr. Kibler, executive team. For the record, my name is Darryl Barraclough. I'm the Supervisor of Facilities and Design, and with me this evening,
Adam Tolley, Supervisor of Career and Technical Education.
Okay, and before you this evening, we are seeking approval of the purchase of replacement student welding stations for the Career and Technology Education Welding Program at Queen Anne's County High School. The existing equipment is well need of replacement. In addition, this will increase the number of teaching stations. We are looking at the purchase and installation through a sole source purchasing agreement through Amtech Company Incorporated, utilizing Howard County Public Schools Contract 039.001 .20.B5. Copies of the original agreement, the extension, copies of the sole source letter, as well as some information on some layouts and some of the equipment that would be included in this. It is going to include ventilation, individual ventilation. Mr. Tully can go into more details on some of the particulars, but this is for the purchase and installation of the welding tables, curtains, and other equipment. This does not include some of the other things that would be needed, demolition, the electrical work, and painting. Those numbers are covered within the allocated budget that we have set aside for this project. Funding is FY27 capital funds. So with that, myself or Mr. Tolley can answer any questions.
How many stations do we have now?
We have about 12 working stations, and we've increased the number of students. We've capped it at 18 students, so the students are sharing welding booths right now. So this would give every single student, we don't plan on increasing above 18. 18 is pretty much a max number of students that you want in a welding lab or a carpentry lab or anything of the sort. So, but this will give every student their own individual booth, and like Mr. Berkeley mentioned, they all have individual ventilation systems, which is kind of what the industry has moved toward, rather than a single ventilation system that attaches to the other one. So there's filters in each of them, so it's much healthier for the lab and for the students.
And what about the student safety equipment? Is any of that included in this?
No, but we've been working over the past several years to increase and upgrade the equipment in the welding lab. So we will have to purchase some more welders to go in the lab itself, but I budgeted that in our Perkins grant. So,
thank you very much.
Visiting during the CTE day and the competition, the lab is pretty crunched in there already. Are we expanding the lab, or are they just adding more stations and they're going to be even closer together?
They're utilizing the space better, and Amtech is a company that kind of specializes in lab design, and so they came out and did a design, and it's attached in there, so we're utilizing the middle space a little bit more, so that's how we're able to get in more stations. And kind of these booths are all self-contained, whereas the ones we have now were built, I don't know, whenever the facility was built, we think, and the walls themselves are not even attached, and so it's condensed a little bit, but it's still within the industry standard of what we're, for the students' workspace.
I'm all here for it. Mr. Tolley would love us if we did that.
Well, and speaking to that, this equipment would be easily relocated. It's not anything that's beyond relocatable if things come to fruition with a CTE building, so this is.
We'll continue planting that seed of when we are done with the current Centerville Middle School building. That would be a lovely place, and transporting that stuff wouldn't be that far. I'll walk.
It wouldn't be that far.
He's got a truck.
Yeah,
But just with this, we talk about being prideful and excited about our CTE programs, and as Mr. Tolley and I and Dr. Schreckengast, we talk about expansion of potential programs. It's very important to us to make sure that we're maintaining our current programs and having them be as updated as possible. So as we continue to talk about new programs we can bring online, you will see year over year this type of thing in the capital budget request to make sure we're maintaining the programs that we do have that are so successful and we're so proud of. So this is the first of that.
Anybody else? No? Do we have a motion?
I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve a purchase and installation of welding lab equipment from Amtech Company Incorporated for Queen Anne's County High School. Fiscal impact $173,761.
You got it.
$761. Budget source FY27 County CIP funds.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
I need some caffeine. I felt like I couldn't speak.
Thank you. Mr. Barraclough, you're up again for Educational Facilities Master Plan.
Yes, so before you this evening, coming and seeking approval for the 2026 Educational Facilities Master Plan. You'll recall last month I presented the Educational Facilities Master Plan in its draft form. Since that time, we have not received any public comment. A couple of updates that I can provide you with regarding progress over the last month. We did receive MDP, Maryland Department of Planning, review and approval of our projections, of our student projections. We did also receive, it's not included in the package that you received because I received it late, just received it yesterday. We did receive county approval from the Department of Planning, which is also a requirement for submission to the state. We did receive that yesterday. So those were really the only two pieces that were kind of in the document as placeholders, with exception to obviously the cover letter, which has to indicate board approval, which hopefully will come this evening. That would be the final piece to the puzzle that would allow us to submit before the July 1, 2026 deadline. A couple of things to point out. At the last meeting, Ms. Sutherland, you mentioned, or you had some comments or questions regarding some of the enrollment and capacity numbers. I did go through that. There were a few typos. A lot of things got updated. That information was cleaned up. So that information is in the new document and in there for you. Trying to think. Also, within the copies that the board received, you'll note that there are no floor plans in that document. That's done for safety security reasons, so that floor plans aren't in the in public view. The state copy that is submitted to the state will have 8.5 by 11 floor plans of all of the schools, which again is another requirement for submission to the state. And I can provide a copy of that to any of the board members if they would like to see that. But I'm guessing everybody's familiar with our floor plans. So with that, that pretty much runs through everything that's happened in the last month with the EFMP. So any questions?
Not hearing any. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve the 2026 Educational Facilities Master Plan.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Knoll is up for 6.13 through 6.18.
Ooh. Gonna be busy.
Good evening, President QACPS, Dr. Kibler, members of the board and executive team. For the record, I am still Michael Knoll, Director of Human Resources. From just a few minutes ago, I come before you tonight with 6 action items, none of which have a fiscal impact. So I come before you for no money. But we are on the third read of 6 HR policies. If you recall, after our first read, we did have a couple of public comments which were addressed in our second read. As well as some legal citation updates that were all made for the final versions of these policies. So I come before you first and foremost tonight with policy 405 on employee compensation, which brings this up to date with the reformatting and with our current practice.
It looks like it's just the attachments. It's not. Sure.
You said you did not receive any public
It's all
comment.
of the,
The expert's on it. Yes. She got it.
We could talk
I've
about
read it
something
before.
else if you like.
It's funny having you over there. I feel like you guys are like in a tiff or something. So I'm gonna go sit on my side.
We're making faces.
I like
mediation after.
So it's the,
so you know, we can't open any of the attachments in board docs at the moment.
You go back into the past meeting.
If you-
They
Right.
haven't changed since the
Right.
previous meeting.
Yeah.
They were correct, the citations were corrected.
you can actually open
the.
the,
Log back if you want to go into your
Everything else.
previous meeting when you were King Court Secretary. I'm not quite sure why the links were broken.
well, it's only the policy links that are broken. The actual document opens.
Got it.
None of the attachments in board docs are working right now, even if you go back to an old meeting. So it's not something we can control.
It's all good.
It's all good.
I could always come back next month and we can do it
That's why,
again.
nope.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey,
I like your thought process.
I mean, we've all had a chance to see them first and second, so can we just roll through and
I like how she
approve?
thinks.
I'd like to make a motion for Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve policy 405, sorry, let me go up to my.
You're right, keep going.
405, subject to final edits for format and style.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion for Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve policy 406, subject to final edits for format and style.
Hey, you gonna let him at least see if there's any changes or speak and let you know?
No,
if there's any
we're going.
comment?
We've got stuff to do.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Was there any comments or anything?
I would like to make, I would like to make a motion for the Board of Education to approve policy 407, subject to final edits to format and for format and style.
Second.
Moving forward, is there any comments or anything on any of these?
Just raise your hand, just send up a flare.
Do you have anything to say?
We got eye contact. We're good.
There was no changes
Yeah, I was
from
gonna say, if
the
there's
second.
anything that's going on, he needs to be, like, I get it.
He's looking at him, he's giving me the nod,
There were,
right?
if
There
you
were no
looked at
comments
2
since last
and
meeting.
3, yeah,
Okay.
they were the same exact document as
Everything
last
is
time.
as was.
I feel pretty secure that he would say, stop.
We got one singular comment on the one that you just approved, the employee compensation.
Yes.
No additional comments
No
on
additional comments.
any of the subsequent policies.
All right, easy enough.
I'll just speak slower.
407.
We already did 407, didn't we?
We didn't finish.
Okay, we'll start over. It's okay. Queen Anne's County Board of Education, I'd like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve policy 407, subject to final edits for format and style.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
416.
I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve policy 416, subject to final edits for format and style.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
422.
I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve policy 422, subject to final edits for format and style.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
431.
I would like to make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to approve policy 431, subject to final edits for format and style.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Would anybody like a break?
That was impressive.
Going once,
Keep going.
twice? No. Okay.
Keep going.
Information items. For 8.01, we have the first read with Dr. Schreckengast of Personal Electronic Communications Device Policy 603.
Yes, thank you, President Capes, Dr. Kibler, members of the board, executive team, Jennifer Schreckengast, back to talk with you about our first read of policy 603 and regulation on personal electronic communication devices. This is in accordance with the new House Bill 525, the Joanne C. Benson Maryland Phone-Free Schools Act. So the policy updates include alignment with the House bill, including prohibiting use of personal communication electronic devices in schools, defining the academic school day as the very first bell to the last bell in the day, defining electronic communication devices to include cell phones, smart watches, smart glasses, wireless earbuds, et cetera. And then the regulation focuses on guidelines for use, which really are not use. Prior to entering, the communication device will be turned off and stored. And then for students with IEPs, 504 plans, medical plans, behavior plans, they are authorized to carry the phone if it is a reasonable accommodation within their documented plan. It can also be used to access language translation tools when school-issued electronic communication devices are not available. And also, students who must use electronic communication devices to meet caregiving responsibilities may do so as approved by the principal. This is all confirmed in the House bill. We also outline in the regulation consequences, some confiscation procedures, and communication with families and staff.
Question.
Yes.
Our policy is to not have them come into the building at all?
No, they can come in, but they must be off and stored.
Okay. Thank you.
And stored by what we are requesting means off and away, and it can be like on their person. enforcement of this, trying to keep it in a locker or in a car, this is going to be difficult. We think this is the best approach. So
This is before because when is it is this what?
we would be
the state
doing
also-
this a year early.
Is this what the state has said? Because I thought, okay, gotcha. So they can enter the building, they just have to be off.
Yeah, they haven't put any restrictions on what not you like on what it means to be not used necessarily. You know what I mean, like how to store it. But this is what we feel is going to be best.
I'll be full disclosure. I have some friends that are in Anne Arundel County on the they're like this. And I was asking about how it was going with, and they said it's been fine. Like, obviously in the beginning it was, but they did it on their own before the state did it, and they have, I think it's going to be different, and I think people are going to comment on this, but I think ultimately it's just going to be fine. I just think that if they can have it in the school and it just has to be off, it's a start.
Is there something for students to read, sign, agree to understand? I don't know if they can sign or, but like understand what the rules are? I mean, like they can say it, you can talk about it in homeroom or whatever.
They have to, all the kids have to sign the student handbook at the start of every school year.
Something like that is gonna be in the student handbook, so then they understand the repercussions, that it could be confiscated, et cetera, and then, I mean, the parents should obviously know about the scenario too, because I just trying to get ahead of the game, because we already know there's gonna be some conflict that's gonna happen in the scenario, but.
And I assure you, principals are already thinking about that. They've been very involved in the development of this policy and regulation, and we have thought through the challenges that we're going to face and the amount of communication that's going to be required to get the support of families in the implementation of these.
And I do have a question, just because I don't know. What, in the cases where there's like a 504 or an IEP, what would the need be for to have a phone? Is it, I don't know.
I can give the example of a medical plan. You know, a student with diabetes may use the cell phone to monitor blood sugar, and that would be an example.
Translate tool is also another. Okay. Why did we put buses in there if we don't have to? I was just wondering, because we're not
Why did we put it in?
It is in there.
It is.
Yeah.
That is our current policy, does allow drivers to make that choice.
Oh.
And I understood that we wanted to continue to allow drivers to make that choice, but if we don't, then certainly I can make that adjustment.
No, it just seems like the buses is included in the school policy. It doesn't seem like it's different. I guess that's.
Carrie's Word docs is up, so you can see
What?
what.
Sorry. Oh, my God.
No, I'm saying I can't see that. Oh.
She might have had hers own.
She opened it already.
We should have it down, yeah.
I had already. Sorry.
To your point, that is, buses are not addressed in the House bill at all.
Right.
But I'm just looking at our current policy and regulation and
Where
making
is it in the
I just-
policy that can you show me where the bus is?
They define the public school property. Any Queen Anne's County public school grounds, building, and buses.
It also states that it's from the first bell to the last bell. So when they're on the bus, that's outside of the bell schedule.
Right. So if it's during the school
So I'm just
hours, it would
wondering-
apply.
Right. Okay. I know, it's just is weird, because it doesn't apply on the buses, so why would, I just feel like it really, I don't know, it kind of makes it confusing.
What we're trying to do is marry the new law with a policy we already had in the school district. So the personal device policy included everything.
Okay.
And so if the board would like, we could write a separate policy, or we could make the policy more explicit in differentiating that. That's great feedback, and we can bring something different in the second.
Well, you mean like, so like if a student's on a field trip, right? Is that what you're talking about?
They're allowed to use the bus, or they're allowed to use the bus. They're allowed to use their phone anytime on the bus.
But you're talking
But
about.
the whole rest of the policy just covers how they're not allowed to use it, not allowed to use social media. Are we telling the kids they can't use social media on the bus? Okay. So I guess that's what
We can go back and look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels.
But
It
it's still up to the bus driver. Like, the bus driver can say to them, you can't have, like, where they still have the discretion?
Yes.
Okay, that's what.
Yeah, we
that's
just might
what
want to
it's-
separate how it works. I mean, just on the bus, anything goes.
So, Ms. Sutherland, is that the definition of public school property that is the issue, or the G under number 3.
Yeah, I think it's just the public school property. I'm like,
Okay.
and I'm not saying we don't need a guideline for the bus. I'm just,
Right. If you refresh your browser, I think the attachments will load now.
I did that and it didn't, but fingers crossed.
Mine's working. Thanks.
I mean,
Ms.
this policy is going to be hard enough as it is, so if we just make it very, very clear.
I think if the parents are on board, it won't be.
Well,
That's the problem, is that I think the parents aren't going to want to be the bad guy to their kids, and so then the kids are going to want to, so I feel like the parents have to see the good in wanting to have the kids be on their phones less, to see the benefit of it, and I think that will help. I think that's just my opinion.
and how can we measure that, though? How can we track that?
The good news is our pre-survey data showed that 75% of parents support the control of cell phone use in schools, so.
And then does passing periods, it includes everything, it includes flex. So there is no flexibility at all in the state law for a student to pull out their phone and check it during the day?
Not at lunchtime, not in the hallways, correct. That is the law.
It's all good.
My 9-year-old does
Bell to
just fine
bell.
because she doesn't know it.
So from the
I said my
time,
9-year-old does fine with that because she doesn't know it. It's like these kids are going to have a hard time because they know it, but the goal is to get a group of kids that don't know it. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable for the high school kids currently because they know what it feels like, but I'm looking more for the ship that hasn't sailed yet. I'm thinking the elementary and the middle school kids that don't know what it's like to worry about not having it during the middle of the day.
but they can use it until the first bell, and they can use it the second the last bell goes off.
According to the definition of an
Great, so
academic
we
school.
might want to look at that, because if we've got to tell the I think we should just, away all day, not the whole first bell, last bell. Like,
As soon as you step foot in the school.
I mean, otherwise, we're telling the kids they can, or is it okay? Maybe it's okay to have it when you walk in the school, use it. I'm talking high schoolers, It's okay to use it when you first get there, but when the bell rings, that's when it goes away.
This is our first read. We got a couple months to continue this.
I do believe there will be a public comment.
And there will be public comments.
Okay,
Get almost
I'm
here.
just asking what do you guys think?
Those are good questions.
I think they should have no phones whatsoever, so I.
We can't do that. So, working with our guidelines.
The only problem you do that, if you restrict them from having phones as soon as they step in, you might start getting a lot of students lingering outside, and then you might have an issue with students.
So let them use it until that bell.
I think that we're getting lost in the
that's
minutia here. I just feel like the day that the academic day starts until it ends, I think is the day. Like, I just feel like we're getting lost in like all the,
Minutia.
yeah, I just feel like
This
it's,
is also year one, remember, we're going a year early. So it's gonna be a trial and error this first year until it actually has to be implemented by the state.
So I think the bell to bell gives us explicit timing of when we are going to be expected to enforce this. I don't think we want our administrative staff out in the bus loop waiting. Waiting. That's what I fear.
But it is just going to be, it's going to be different. They can all have them in the morning, and then that's it.
But it allows that bell to ring at the end of the day. Mom, Dad, practice got canceled, hopped on the bus, I'm going to be home. Things like that.
Can you imagine when they turn their phones back on at the end of the day?
What I would just say, Mr. Dreyer brought it up, we're doing this a year ahead, so I'll remind the board and the public watching, regardless of what we do over the next 3 months when we go to and pass this and enact it for next school year, MSDE will likely produce a guidance model policy for us to follow. We will probably be looking at this with some small edits next year. Who knows, maybe we get it completely right. That would be great. But it'll have something, I'm sure, little edits, which is fine and good. Mr. Harding and I have been talking about this a lot. I think every time we talk about other issues, we seem to hit on cell phones at least a little bit, even just today, who's here, and he wants to know, like, he's ready to start letting the community know what's coming. And so what we talked about today was he's got a freshman meetup tomorrow night. We're not going to make a big announcement about this tomorrow, but yet if parents or students are questioning it, we're going to go ahead and hit it head on with what's coming. And then I know all the schools are eager when this passes, well, when it goes to a vote, and I'm assuming passes in August, they will start their messaging that next day to start getting people, students, families ready for what the expectation is going to be. When we have the back to school night, the meet and greets with new teacher returning week, we'll be having that messaging, like you all said, with signing the student parent handbook. So the schools are ready to go and actively thinking about this and have been. And
So the 8th grade is going into 9th grade. They don't currently have one.
no, so
this will
really,
be
you've got 3 years of students that
Am I allowed to ask Mr. Harden a question?
I would just ask that he come to the microphone if he's willing to take questions.
Principal Harden.
I have a quick question that you hit briefly about practices or an extracurricular activity being canceled. In saying that, if they don't have their phone to allow their parents to know, can we set up a system where the school says, hey, the basketball team canceled practice or whatever?
And we can school
blast out an
messenger.
email to all of the parents so that they know, since they might not be getting it till the very end of the school day, it might just allow us to give them a notification earlier than, because the student's no longer.
Coaches have different communication systems. Might be worth, with this change, thinking about standardizing that practice and what it looks like. But we also have the school messenger, the same thing that everybody loves hearing my voice at 5 a.m. with the fog delays. That can be customized for teams and whatever groups of students that we want. So that's a great idea and something that we'll have to continue thinking about.
Do you see this as a good thing in the long term?
Yes, so for the record, Dan Harding, principal at Caroline High School. Yes.
It's going to be hard,
Yeah,
but
it'll be some time up front. I do think the community's going to probably need the most impact. I've been at Caroline High School, I think July starts my 15th year, and so really that predates the majority of cell phones when it was a big deal if a kid had a cell phone on them. We did confiscate it, but now the iPhone's out and many, many things have changed since then. So I do think, the managers at the local restaurants and those different areas where, if a shift change happens, they're just right now used to being able to text a student and get a response. That's just going to change. And so whether we go back to writing more, phone messages or emails, and our students are going to have to, and our parents, and myself included, will have to get better with email or some sort of, we've been talking about it ever since this idea popped up. I think ultimately having less distracted students is what we want. And then trying to fit that in and not, spend all day on this. But I think it can be done. I think the messaging is important that, hey, we are doing this. And then implementation, I've already started talking with our staff about, okay, this is going to have to be if you see it, here's what happens. And then it's a matter, for the record, right now the plan would be an administrator would come to the classroom, and if it had to be confiscated, it would be done by an administrator. So the teacher simply identifies it, probably issues a warning on the first one, and then after there, the administration would get involved. Because I don't want teachers taking education time to, police cell phones. But I think if it's done well and it's done right, after the first, might be a month, but once they realize we're serious, it'll be okay. But it'll be a big change. It is. As a father, now my youngest has graduated, but if I knew she was not in class, if she was doing one thing or another, I would text. So so
it's going to be a learning curve for everybody.
Yeah. And I also, while I'm here, I think the other piece to consider is what does it look like now for our staff, myself included, for our usage of cell phones to include smartwatches and different things. I know we have a different job, but the kids do look at us as role models, so we have to look at that as well. That's all.
And one thing I want to add just to the conversation, especially with some of the coaches and some of the teams on the high school level, I know that some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but there are a few coaches that use certain social media platforms to communicate with the team. Is that strongly advised against? Like, would this?
I think with Josh Combs and our technology department, we have to look to see what we can allow to have pop up on, not just to the parents, but also the kids. And so we have a wonderful app at Ken Island. I think Queen Anne's was going to adopt it for our athletes. It's now currently an app on the phone, but I can only imagine that would have to be able to be used with their Chromebooks. And so as long as they could get that message, hey, and it's really things like tennis, last minute things where one storm will make a difference. Otherwise, most of those decisions can be made an hour or more in advance to give plenty of notice. A sport like tennis or an event like that, one thunderstorm at 2:25 could wreck practice, but there aren't many like that. Thank you. Any other questions?
I just wanted to ask,
What do you, I mean, I think it would be a lot easier if it came from the students too, you know, like have them work on the campaign. I guess we don't have much school time left, but, you know, phones away all day and work on that, you know.
Yeah,
Just a thought.
I could see utilizing our Student Government Association, our National Honor Society. I mean, I would say my own children, as they're in college, 3 of them, you know, they have self-limited themselves or regulated themselves the older they've gotten and used on their own time, realizing how much of a distraction it is. So, yeah, I think involving the kid, we do that kind of on a regular basis. But it's going to be something. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Glad you were here.
Yeah, I almost left, so I'm glad to stay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody done with questions? Next up, we have Matt Evans with 8.02, second read of policy 206, automated external defibrillators.
Good evening again. For the record, my name is Matt Evans, Supervisor of Student Services. I have 2 policies for the second read tonight. The first one is number 206, automated external defibrillators, or AEDs. Again, it was a total rewrite from the 2009 policy and complies with Comar, Maryland statutes, and MSD guidance. We project that the fiscal impact would be $15,000 a year, and that's for maintenance and replacement. There's been no public comment as of today. Any questions? The next policy is policy 533, Sun Safety. There were no changes to the policy from 2019, but the regulation, we did add letter E, which was employees may assist students with sunscreen application with parent guardian authorization. And I did get clarification that really comes out from either the nurse or in school messenger or from the school that, one, they have to provide their own sunscreen, and if they need assistance, then they would need to write a letter stating as such. There have been no public comment on this policy as well. Any questions?
Didn't we get a comment on this one?
I thought somebody was talking about this is one more thing that teachers would have to do, right? It was something to
Yeah.
do with that. But this was more if if a child needs it and didn't have it, the ability to do so. Is this like administering Tylenol or cough drop? Or
We don't provide sunscreen. We don't stock it or provide it.
But like if a child has it in the bag, is that what we're?
Right.
Okay.
Correct, yes.
There's like an email or something.
Yeah, it was,
an
I think they were touching on what Carrie said. That was pretty much word for word what you said. Like, are we going to make the teacher's going to have to do this, apply sunscreen, more or less? Like, if the kid needs sunscreen, is the teacher's job going to have to be to put the sunscreen on?
If every student in the class has a note that says, please assist them, then we would make provisions, but I don't foresee that. It's not been a problem that we've had.
It was more of an email, I think, than a public comment. Like,
Yeah, sorry.
It's
It's unfamiliar.
And we've had students bring in their own sunscreen for 7 years plus. It's not something I've heard about that's an issue where.
I can speak with field days going on right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The teachers are all really good about letting families know, apply the sunscreen before you get there. If you send your child with sunscreen, they're not allowed to share it because of allergens and things like that, so I think it's working.
Other questions?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mrs. Passon with AP Language and Composition Text Adoption.
Good evening, President Capes, members of the board, Dr. Kibler, members of the executive team. For the record, my name is Bridget Passon, English Language Arts Supervisor for grades 3 through 12. I'm here tonight with a request from both of our AP Language and Composition teachers for a new textbook. In 2019, the College Board AP Language and Composition course was completely rewritten into a 9-unit framework. And the current textbook we're using is from 2013. I have had a request for new AP text in my budget every year, but there have been other priorities ahead of it that have made it difficult to acquire. So I'm thrilled to be able to come and show you what they decided on and ask for it to go out for a public read. So both teachers looked at 3 different texts. They completed the State Department of Education HQIM rubric, and were in full agreement on the use of this book, Ideas in Argument, 2nd edition, in order to align fully with course and exam expectations for our AP Language and Composition students. So I'm here tonight to ask for you to allow it to go out for a 30-day read, and I'll have it on display here and at both high schools.
I see it.
Yeah, you're in hold. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have it.
No, that's okay. She was about to throw it.
I was like, look, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
I know, I still have them.
So this
So you're
doesn't,
actually having the books in class?
So it's an actual textbook. It does come with licenses, but it's interesting that I was emailing with one of the teachers today. They're not necessarily interested in using the licenses. With our AP Lang kids, they want them immersed in the text and doing a lot of writing and a lot of speaking about what they're reading. So they'll be able to be used each year.
this doesn't come up too much, so just to let the board know what we're doing here, because the next 2 agenda items are similar in nature. When we were getting ready to adopt new materials of instruction, our policy is that we bring it before we do a pilot, look at 3 materials, bring it forward, and put it on for public comment for 30 days before we do an actual vote on it. So this would come back in July for the actual adoption and purchase at the same time.
And I will admit that this is for a singleton, so there's only 2 teachers in the whole district. So in those cases, we don't necessarily have to do a pilot like we have to do for all our elementary courses or for courses that the majority of our students take. So having just both teachers go through 3 different texts, and then they completed the rubric together, we're able to say with confidence that this is the best choice for our AP Lang and Composition course. You wanted to remember how to write a synthesis essay or an argument on literature, it's all in there.
I like that they still put, remember when you used to get the book and you would look to see who had it before
Yes.
you, or how old the book was?
Jimmy's brother had it.
Yeah. The 20-year-old book, or the cover was self-taped and duct taped back together.
Good old-fashioned textbook.
I love it, make them have a book bag, 30 pounds.
Do you remember putting the book covers with the brown
Right,
paper
the
bag?
brown paper
Well, now you all know how to get to this board. Bring them in some real books.
I know.
I know.
Information right now.
So there's no action tonight.
No access things.
Give me your book back.
Okay, sure. Okay, all right.
I'm not gonna throw
All
it.
right. So we're
Thank
good?
you.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
have a good night.
Thank you. Next up, we have Dr. Guido for Elementary Social Studies Curriculum Resource.
I'm patiently waiting back there.
Yes. President Capes, Dr. Kibler, members of the Executive Board, Exec Team. My name is Darren Guido, Supervisor of Instruction in the areas of Social Studies, World Languages, Service Learning, and Multilingual Learners. Tonight, I bring before the board for informational purposes a 6-year purchase of Gibbs Smith Education's K-5 Social Studies Curriculum Resource. This purchase will include online access and hard copies of the teacher editions, textbooks for students in grades K-5, or excuse me, in grades 1 to 5, as well as online access for students in grades 4 and 5. Kindergarten teachers in the pilot their kids struggled with the size of the textbooks. So when I spoke with them, they were okay with not having textbooks for the students because they can project the information. The students end up at the carpet anyway, so they can project all the information. So we don't need the textbooks in kindergarten. And anything that the students are going to produce and write on, teachers can print that out and make that available to the students. I do want to thank and acknowledge the 30 teachers who participated in at least one of our pilots this year. Without their willingness to explore a new resource, I wouldn't be here tonight. I also want to thank the parents who took time to review the resources online and provide some feedback to us as well. One of the third grade teachers said, "We love it. Students are engaged and excited about the materials presented. It's simple to plan," even though she didn't have the teacher edition hard copy at hand. The material is presented at a grade appropriate level, and the activities are engaging. And a fourth grade parent shared with me, overall, Gibbs Smith provides a strong, content-rich foundation in social studies that aligns well with Maryland standards. It helps build students' background knowledge in history, civics, and culture in a clear and structured way, which is especially important alongside our reading series, HMH Into Reading, as it helps fill gaps in cumulative content knowledge. The materials are age-appropriate, include diverse perspectives, and support student understanding. While teachers may want to add more inquiry and discussion, the curriculum offers a solid and reliable base for social studies instruction. Gibbs Smith Education provides a vertically aligned, literacy-supported, Maryland-focused curriculum resource. In each grade, students engage with inquiry-based resources that support their exploration of civics, economics, geography, and history, and it will prepare them for success as they matriculate into middle school. Gibbs Smith Education resources were created with the Maryland Social Studies frameworks in mind. Total purchase is quite large. However, it can be made over the course of 6 years. We will have to purchase the textbooks up front, and then each year we'll purchase that online portion of it.
Very nice.
Happy to answer any questions.
Big cost, but I would also say 6 years, and it's roughly over 3,000 students using it every year.
Right. And the majority is textbooks, so this could carry on beyond those 6 years.
Did you bring a book so they can pass around?
I don't have a book.
Oh, my
I can give it to you. I can give you online access to review, however.
A cupcake.
But the materials will be here for display if anybody wants to come and see.
Yeah, we can make sure that we have textbooks in our pilot. We had textbooks in grades K to 3, and then 4th and 5th grade, we only gave them online access. And it showed that kids need textbooks in 4th and 5th grade. So we're going to purchase, the request is to purchase the online access because there are things that the students can do online. And the framework's actually changed in 4th and 5th grade. K to 3, it is really building the foundation in civics, economics, geography, and history. In 4th and 5th grade, then it really digs into history using the other content strands through American history. So we do want the students to have both access. Everybody can have access to the online platform to see what is in each of those, but we'll make sure that I'll borrow a textbook from some teachers, although they're still using them, so I don't want to take it from somebody. All right. Move on to world language. All right. So again, tonight I bring before the board, informational purposes, a 6-year purchase of CLET World Languages. This purchase would provide all Spanish and French teachers in our 4 middle schools and our 2 high schools a class set of textbooks and digital access for their students. Again, I want to thank the teachers who reviewed 2 different curriculum resources throughout the year. Lori Hegelke, Spanish teacher at Kent Island High School and the 2026 Maryland Foreign Language Association's Teacher of the Year, shared the following reflection. The CLET textbook series has so much to offer for teaching students to acquire language skills and really be able to communicate with others. They promote real-world scenarios and help students actually build proficiency, which is what we measure to qualify students for the Maryland Serial of Biliteracy. Additionally, there is a project-based component that is very timely, considering upcoming changes to the AP language exams, which involve projects. Overall, I'd love to teach using the CLET resources and look forward to us hopefully adopting this series. CLET World Languages is a thriving proficiency-based company dedicated to promoting multilingualism and advancing the future of language and literacy education in the United States. The resources are grounded in establishing standards and proven pedagogical methods designed to build authentic communicative competence and inspire students to become global citizens. Again, purchase up front includes the textbooks, but then the online access would be paid out over those 6 years. It's important in world language that they actually have the online because they can hear authentic languages. So I can hear people speaking in Costa Rica. I can hear people speaking in Spain. I can hear people speaking in Argentina. All a little different, and if I want to actually communicate again, we're building proficiency, and that is being able to communicate with people just as I am right now. I haven't planned anything. I don't know what you're going to ask, what kind of questions you're going to ask me. I need to be able to respond, and that's what we want to build our students with. And for us to be able to do that online will be really beneficial to the students.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a nice night. Right, next up we have Dr. Schreckengoss with SAT results.
Yes, thank you. I'm back again. I am here this evening for our Supervisor of Accountability, Mr. John Groh, who is at his son's graduation at St. Michael's High School this evening. So I'm happy to share with you our SAT results across the district. The first thing that is noteworthy is that our total number of test takers reduced about 50% this year. And that is due in part to a switch from the requirement that all students take the SAT to it being an option. So any student who wanted to take the SAT could take it at no cost to them. So that could be fewer students have taken it because they have chosen not to, because our college and career ready standards have changed from a few options to now over 10 options. So for example, in the past, an SAT math score of 530 or more could replace the Algebra 1 proficiency score. Now, if you look at this next page, there are many, many ways that students can qualify for college and career readiness. So perhaps that's a reason that some students chose not to take the SAT. We also know that only about 10 to 15% of colleges currently require SAT scores for consideration for admission. So that could be another reason. But with that, we note our scores actually improved. So you'll see 2025 at the bottom, 2026 at the top. These are our comprehensive scores combining both math and reading language arts. And so where our scores in the district increased, everyone in the state and globally stayed about the same. We'll look specifically at reading and writing next. So district scores last year at about a 485, this year at a 540. And then in math, comparable growth last year, a mean score of 459, and this year 510. Any questions?
Question. Was it state law or I see the entire U.S. or global testers on it? Was it state law stating that not everybody has to take it, or was that is that a local rule? Those test scores, I'm asking that question because we saw significant increase because we had about 50% of the students. That might be because that other 50% had no intentions of going to school, going to workforce, didn't really apply themselves for the test. So we could see a jump in that test score. But is that possibly the same scenario that we're seeing with the rest of the test scores? Because we see, hey, they all kind of stay the same. But is that because they still had everybody taking the test and they might not be applying themselves? So we see a big jump in us and it looks like we're fantastic, which is great.
I understand what you're asking,
Yes.
but I don't know the answer to that. Dr. Kibler, do you know?
I was just going to say, not necessarily everybody is already taking it. It was just, this was one I struggled with. Obviously see the value in higher education, what it's done for me, but I also recognize with as many changes to get to CCR that there are out there now. We just talked about all of us celebrating the CTE achievements and students going right into the workforce. It just, with the budget issues we have been having, it just didn't seem to make sense when you mesh all of that together to force every student into taking the SAT. Everybody is still encouraged if they want to take it, they are allowed to take it. I think it saved us between $7,000 and $10,000 this year. It's really not a lot of money, but we do know that dual enrollment costs are going up. It's still going right back into the students, and as you've said over and over, Mr. Dreyer, in other meetings, any little bit we can find helps. And again, with all of those things kind of taken together, this just seemed like the smart decision here. And So
And having 3 kids now going through college, like I've got one that just graduated, one that's in it, and one that's going in it, it's like they aren't really using SAT scores as much anymore. Like it's a barometer, but it's not a criteria for
Yeah,
acceptance.
I was just asking because I was looking at the numbers, and it's fantastic seeing our numbers jump, and I'm excited over that scenario. I was just curious if maybe we're doing something different than other counties. I just wasn't sure if, like, how, I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing, but like how those numbers might be skewed. I was just trying for my own knowledge or our knowledge, because if we're doing something and they are in the same boat as us, like, that's fantastic. We should have a kudos for our school. Granted, we're seeing the increase, but I was just wondering if that was a state thing, but you said it was a county thing, saving money, which is fantastic. I get both sides of it, and we shouldn't be forcing students to take the SATs if they don't want to. We should guide them, of course. But, yeah, I'm just curious of those numbers, because especially with the state and where we stand, like, if that was the case, trying to see where we're at.
That's a great question.
I would expect that trend to now state level. You are seeing the jump because you're putting students, we already feel like we test our students too much. You can try to motivate students for the MCAP and things like that, for what it means to them to try to get to this, but it's really hard to give a college readiness exam to a student that has no interest in going to college. How do you motivate that student? It's difficult.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it can't be done, obviously, but yeah. And we do know, we know that in Queen Anne's County, we usually perform better than the rest of the state. Our data shows that regardless. So I'm not surprised to see the higher numbers. Had to throw that in, Dr. Knoll.
Other questions? All right, thank you.
Up we have Mr. Watkins for expense sheets and operating budget discussion.
Third time's the charm.
Look at that year-to-date. I like that it's like under, right?
So tonight, we're going to first start with our fiscal year 26 budget review. And as always, it is on board docs. I'd like to take a minute and remind us that we're still spending the money well. Everything is trending the way it should be trending. We're getting towards the end of fiscal year 26, but there's still lots to do. So we'll spend June spending down, and then July is the period 13 of the fiscal year. So that's when you pay all the bills from June and kind of finish up the work. Our auditor has already met with us, and we started to review the procedures and all the things that we're going to do for our audited financial statements. Of course, on that audit, we go over the operating budget, capital budget, the food service budget, and then we'll also review the restricted funds in the single audit. So, so far, so good. And do you guys have any questions about fiscal year 26? Let's jump into 27. So tonight, we are going to talk through the updates to our draft fiscal year 27 budget. As you know, the county is still working on their budget, and we're expecting to see next week their final struck budget, which will give us our final allocation to inform our budget. And then we come back together on June 17th, and at that point, we present an updated budget book. In that updated budget book, we talk through the operating budget, the adjustments to the food service budget, and the already approved capital improvement budget. And then we'll take a vote that day, hopefully, and get through that. Couple updates that we can share that we do know. We did receive the final state aid audit, and there was some reductions to Queen Anne's County Public Schools as a part of that file. So overall, we saw a reduction of $120,301 to our state aid. And you can see a little $2,000, $3,000 almost in foundation, few dollars in CCR and concentration of poverty. The big hit came in pre-K, and they reduced our state allocation by over $150,000. However, we were able to gain a few more dollars for a career ladder for educators, which is what funds the National Board Certification piece. The state funds about 37% of the stipends we provide our teachers. We fund the rest with our local funds. in the pre-K world, the reduction came to how, it really was a legislative decision at the very end of the legislative session, and it really came to how are they counting the students. They didn't really change the number in the allocation, they just changed really how they're counting the students to get there. So really, we were expecting payment up to students who were in families at 600% above the poverty line. They reduced that down to 450% above the poverty line. And they did not identify students that were identified as multilingual or special education as tier 1. So in the grand scheme of things, we saw a reduction of students that were added to the calculation in our formula. It doesn't mean we have less students. It didn't change the program we're offering to our students next year. It just changed how much money we're going to get for it.
Yeah, did that change in the blueprint at all, or is it still the same
No,
mandate?
that's what the
That's
problem
fantastic.
is.
Awesome.
Yep.
So we offered enrollment slots to these students expecting to get payment for those students. We are being told now that we won't. If that's roughly 8 to 10 of the students. I would have to go back and look at the actual per pupil funding and just, because it's scaled, when you get into that over the tier 1, we're obviously keeping those students in our classes this year. We're not saying, hey, we're not getting money for you now, bye-bye. So they're here. This is the reality of it. We frankly, the pre-K counting has changed, the game has changed on us in the middle of the year every year as we've done this rollout, and every year we have had some sort of a hit like this.
Eventually, we're just going to be paying the state to actually have students.
It's a good thing we didn't start 3-year-old.
Exactly.
So how does that affect our overall budget? So that reduces the state share to 1.368 million. It was over 1.4 last time we saw that. Right now the county has allocated $8.7 million to us over our last year's allocation, which brings our total revenue increase in the current budget book to $10.068 million. We originally, in our budget book, the way it's written right now, it's still sitting at 13.379 million as the total request. When you subtract the total revenue increase, that still leaves $3.3 million. It needs to be adjusted in our budget book going forward. Like Dr. Kipler's going to hop in.
If you go back to that slide, just to make sure everybody, I just want to hit this one again. So the budget that I put forward that you all adopted meant that we needed an increase to this year's current operating budget of that $13.3 million. We have only to date received that $10 million between the county, and we are thankful for what the county's given us, which gets us to that $3.3 million gap. We are going to go into a little bit of good news on the next. I just want to make sure everybody understands where we're at. It's why when we've done the budget hearings, we were asking for additional funding because we were trying to close that $3 million gap. So the good news about where we sit right now, with the increase or the amount that we've gotten from the state and above maintenance of effort from the county commissioners, that they did not have to do, that 8.7 million more than they gave us last year. Again, that covers everything to maintain the current program that we have. So that's all of the staffing levels, everything that's happening in the schools right now gets to continue next year. No talks of cutting positions, no talks of furloughs. We have also received great news. And I'm going to be honest, I've been frankly sitting on this until we saw a hard number. We projected an increase of 10% for health insurance. It's actually coming in at only 4%. Marathon is playing a huge part of that. We will never know the exact dollar figure of what that's doing for us, but I know that other neighboring counties are seeing 6, 8, and 10% increases. We are only seeing 4. Because of our conservative approach to the budget, that is, we've got a $960,000 saved, basically, which does reduce that gap. I do not anticipate the county commissioners rolling back their allocation to us, which is great, which means that we can now reallocate that $960,000. So the additional funding that we were already given above maintenance of effort, that 8.7, plus this 9.6, it reduces that 3.3 down to 2.3, basically giving us $1 million to play with. If you're thinking about the budget book, because I'm kind of a visual person, and I know that we're talking $130 million, $140 million budget. These are big numbers. That's why we have these summary pages at the front. What the commissioners gave us originally already covers that cost to maintain page. What we're saying now with this health insurance, we've got roughly $1 million to go on the additions that I was proposing. Now, it was over $3 million, but we have $1 million. What I'd like to talk about is where I would like to see that going. It's not just me personally. This is in consultation with the executive team, as well as Dr. Schreckengoss and I have been on our last round of school visits, talking with supervisors. What we'd like to do right now is, maybe we have this out of order. We've already talked about it. I want to make sure that every school has the same program. So the column on the right, putting the counselor back at Church Hill, putting the Spanish teacher back at Mattapique Middle School, and a computer lab assistant at Bayside, so that all schools have the same offerings. We already talked about doing that, and we're hiring for those positions. This insurance piece now is going to allow us to do the left column, adding those other 10 positions. 5 additional reading specialists, 1 math specialist, and 4 teacher specialists at the middle school level. That is in addition to what we currently have. So if we move forward with this, what that will give us, we have 3 reading specialists, 3 math specialists currently. Adding this will put a reading specialist assigned to every elementary school. It will put a math specialist, instead of covering 4 schools, multiple elementary schools and a middle school, they would be able to go back and forth for just 2 schools. Every math specialist would be assigned 2 elementary schools. You can think of that natural breakdown. Church Hill, Sothersville Elementary, that's just initial thinking. Right here in Centerville, Kennard, Centerville Elementary School, same way on the island, Bayside, Ken Island Elementary School, Graysonville, Mattapique Elementary School. We'll talk about what that would look like. That's just first kind of shot at that. This is not going as far as what the proposal was in the budget book. Dr. Schreckengoss and I feel like at the middle school level, what we'd like to do, instead of having a specialist specialize in either reading and math, we would allocate a teacher specialist to the middle schools whose job would be to kind of work on data for all of this, supported by our supervisors. Like we talked about, that one supervisor position that we reinstated in the district that we hired for last month is taking some of the responsibilities away from our math supervisor and our English supervisor, so they can be focused just on that content, and so that each middle school would get a specialist as well. I'm really excited about this, and I really feel strongly about this, and I'm happy to answer any questions. The proposal. With you all are voting on this budget in 2 weeks. We are going to still push in the next week with our county commissioners for extra funding to go further on the addition page. What I would like to do right now, knowing that we have this $1 million of insurance, I would like Dr. Knoll and his team, with help of Dr. Schreckengoss and her team, to go ahead and post the positions on the left. What that'll allow us to do, I'm starting to get nervous. It's the beginning of June. We've got to hire these positions. I am confident that we will be able to hire these positions. A lot of them will be filled, I would imagine, by people that are in our schools already, which then creates that backfill issue. So we need to move on this as fast as possible. Going ahead posting, we leave postings up for 2 weeks. So we would still know if the commissioners all of a sudden rolled our money back and we have to pull the postings down. Again, I don't anticipate that happening, but we would have that ability. It still allows interviews wouldn't even take place until after you all vote on the proposed budget that we will bring back new to reflect all of this that we're doing. So the commissioners will strike their budget officially next Tuesday night. You will see an updated budget book with all of this in it on the 17th. But we want your feedback tonight to move forward on all of that.
Yes?
Yes. Yes. Yay.
Oh, that's great.
It's a big win for our district.
Fantastic.
I want
For sure.
That's so wonderful.
So I'm extremely excited for this. I'm never completely satisfied. As I talk about what we would do with additional funding, the commissioners have been extremely generous to us. 10% increase over what they gave us last year, roughly. Correct, Mr. Watkins?
10.5.
10.5%. That is unique, and I would venture to say, without having a number in front of me right now, most likely the biggest increase that any other district is getting in the state. That is to be celebrated for us. If we were to get any additional funding, and I'm around a $900,000 mark, we can bring back some additional mental health and behavioral supports for our schools as well. And that's where I hope that we can get to. It's not closing the $3.3 million gap completely, but an additional 900 right now above the 8.7, we could get 2 district-wide behavioral support specialists, 6 pre-K, like early learning teachers to support the behavioral needs and mental health needs for our youngest learners in our schools, 4 middle school behavioral supports where every middle school would get an additional person, as well as an additional multi-language teacher for North County. So that would be another 13 positions we could get. All of which, everything that's on that page right now and that I just said right now, directly in our schools helping kids every day. That's important. And take any feedback on that too. Sorry, I need a soapbox this thing.
Oh, gosh, it's great. It's good news.
Do you guys have any questions we can answer?
So I just want to reiterate what we're doing on the 17th. So if the number stays as the number stays right now, you will see an updated budget book reflecting what that chart is. So this page will be scaled back on the additions because we will be voting on the official budget at that point. On the 17th, it'll be one package. We're not going to ask to vote on the 3 separate. We're going to vote on the 27 budget, which is going to include operating, food service, capital improvement. And we can talk about all of them individually, but that's what we'll be doing on the 27th. The biggest change you're going to see is to the operating budget, now officially making those changes that we've been talking about over the past couple months. Is that
That's correct. It's going to reflect whatever the allocation, the final allocation comes in, and we'll take the money and stretch it as far as we can to balance the budget and get as many of the resources that we need in place.
Fantastic. Get those reading specialists back in the schools.
I think it makes, for me, speaking for myself, I feel like it makes it so much easier when you say what the board wants to do, because I feel like for what we are aware of, you've been keeping us up to date at every single meeting. So it's an easy, this is a win. But having that 10% go down to 4 it's a gift. Let's keep using that on.
Oh, we need it right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Got some work to do, Dr. Knoll. I'm excited about this one. You too, Dr. Schreckengast. Job description.
We're on it.
Let's do it.
Matt, there's nobody signed up, right, to give public comment?
Is there any additional public comment?
No.
We got a huge crowd out there.
All right. All right, future meetings and events. Next week, there is a commissioner meeting on Tuesday. If anybody would like to attend, we have our sign-up sheet.
I would.
What?
I said I would.
Okay.
I'd like to go. Thanks. I'll take a spot.
Our next meeting is June 17th at 5 p.m., which will be our budget work session. We need to review the closed session agenda items because we'll be going into closed session.
Pursuant to the general provisions, Article 3-305 and 3-104, the Board of Education of Queen Anne's County will meet in closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals.
Thank you. I make a motion for the Queen Anne's County Board of Education to adjourn the June 3rd, 2026 open session at 8:38 PM and move into closed session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. 5-minute break?
Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. I didn't get my food.
Yeah.